YouTube. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on and join me in this walk and talk. Much, much needed. Come on and let's talk all things. Not some of the things, all things. Diddy and Cassie Ventura and anybody else who's associated with that little situation that's going on. It's a lot going on. Alex Fine, he's getting it handed to him and on the internet. Come on in, like the video. What's up? Let me know where you at. Drop me a comment. Double tap the screen to like the video. Hopefully you can see me. The sun is nice and bright. It's a beautiful day in Georgia. I wanted to get a quick walk in, so I said, why not make it a walk and talk? It's been a minute since I've done a walk and talk. So they're usually pretty popular on both of my YouTube channels. So I said, let's get it in. Let's walk it off. Let's walk it out. But I wanted to pick back up on the conversation centered around Diddy because yesterday I went live and I talked about the case, and I pretty much kind of deep dived into on the day, whatever day it was. I guess that would have been day 5 of the testimonies on Friday. Child, all day I consumed that. So I want to come out and talk about it. So that's what I did yesterday, last night. Check out that video if you have not already. Check it out. But it was a lot of enlightening things that I learned from the trial. And you know who else I feel like that was very enlightened? Alex Fine. Alex Fine. How many of y'all think that man found out a lot of information that he did not know before? Because y'all know we don't ever tell it all. Married or not, you don't ever tell it all. You tell a little something. You know, you give them a little piece. They get a little piece. But they don't ever really get the full story. So Cassie, unfortunately, found herself in a situation to where she had to tell all the truth. Hello, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help her, God. But y'all, in front of the husband, many of us be like, all right, Sheik, you know, I can air it all out. I can put my business out there. But do my man need to be there? Do my girl need to be there? Y'all know it changes the game when your person is in the room. Come on now. Y'all know it changed the game when you playing truth or dare when your person is in the room. So Cassie was on the stand playing, for lack of a better word, a game of truth or dare. Come on in. Y'all double tap the screen. Y'all double tap the screen because people are already out here putting bets on how long Mr. and Mrs. Fine are going to be Mr. and Mrs. Fine. I don't know, y'all. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts. What's up, Susan? How are you? Hey, Wendy. Candy. Let me see. Cancer 66. Hey, Sheik, it's been a while. Yes, since I've caught a live. I love your intellectual options on what you speak on. Thank you so much. What's up, Dr. J? What's up? Y'all, we talking about it. Because this week, Mr. Fine learned a lot of, hello. He learned a lot of information. And people who were in there, and y'all do me a solid, double tap the screen. Give me a like. Listen. Y'all know I be playing games with the YouTube thing. So your girl ain't even in the probably. YouTube like, who is Sheik Speaks? We know who Sheik Speaks on it is. But who the hell is Sheik Speaks? I haven't been out here consistently on this channel. But child, P. Diddy, the Diddler, whatever you want to call him, got me out here talking. It has me out here talking on this channel. So listen, this week, a lot of information came out during the trial. And it was a lot of information that a person, let's just say, we're going to say Mr. Fine, we're just going to say using common sense. It's information that he could have went without. He could have went without hearing. He could have like went the rest of his days without hearing. Like, really though, he really could have. But now he heard, he knows what he knows. And the thing about when you come to know things, you can't unknow them. You cannot unload and unknow them. You just know them, and then now you just got to move accordingly. Because what they say, when you know better, you what? You do better. What will that mean for Alex Fine? Now that he's knowing, now that he knows that the situation with Puffy overlapped his situation with his now wife, his wife who's pregnant with their third child. Do y'all believe that man knew that Cassie was still creeping with Diddy the way she was on his watch? Because it did come out in the testimony. There was a time when he FaceTimed her while she was having an intimate moment with Diddy. And that was all around the time of her allegation of saying that he R'd her. It was all around that time. And she did say on the stand that when Diddy allegedly R'd her, she did not tell her husband right away. Isn't that that's interesting? She did not tell her husband right away that she got R'd by him. What are some reasons as to why you think that was? Why do you think that she did not share that with her husband right away? I don't think she said when she actually told him. She did just admit that she didn't tell him right away. My thoughts centered around that is she was going to have to provide some context behind the situation as to how they even had private moments together for it to even happen. Because he's not going to drop out of thin air out the sky and on top of you. He's not going to do that. I'm going to go on a whim and say where Cassie was living with her then boyfriend, fiance, or whatever, was a good distance away from P. Diddy, the diddler, whatever we want to call him. So for them to be in a room together, for something like that to go down, there was something that was agreed upon for them to even be that close to one another. So using common sense, what man is going to be okay with his woman saying, hey, my ex, yeah, that one that you took me from, the one that I said was abusive, he wants to meet up and have a conversation. He wants to talk. Ain't no man going to be good with that. A woman's not going to be good with that if her man coming to her saying that his ex, that was ex for a reason, is wanting to meet up and have a conversation to talk. So it's a lot of ideas I have in my head as to why she didn't tell him about their encounter and how he first came to know of any type of physical encounter was when he FaceTimed her. But here's the thing, the part I'm not clear on, and you all maybe know. He FaceTimed her while she was having a sexual encounter with Diddy. But I don't know if it was that moment, did he see something, or if she was kind of backed into a corner to have to say something. He FaceTimed her. So the thing about FaceTime, still even somebody FaceTime you, the person who you're FaceTiming, they still got to answer the call, right? They got to pick it up. So I don't see why she would have picked it up in that moment. So that's the part I'm not quite clear on, like what had her to play true confessions and then tell him, hey, I slept with him. I don't know, but she did say when she did say I slept with him, he punched a hole in the wall. He punched a hole in the wall. But here's another thing that I'm not quite clear on either, is that when she said, hey, I slept with him, did she follow up with, and the reason why it happened is because he R'd me? That part I'm not clear on either. Because she did end up telling him he R'd her, but she didn't tell him right away. So then people started to wonder, okay, well, when you finally had to come clean about being intimate with him again, is that when you said, oh, okay, well, he R'd me. So it kind of takes the edge off of it when the husband gets upset that you slept with him, because you're now inserting that he armed me. So it's given, okay, well, you didn't want to, but this is what happened. But how was you in the presence of him anyway? But let's just focus on like he argued you. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like how the story is told that can control the focal point of the situation. It's like your child doing wrong. They steal your car. They get into a car accident. They survive, but they hurt. But you're not really putting a lot of thought into, okay, they stole my car. Your focus right now is on, where are they going to be okay? You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So that's what it was giving on the trial when Cassie was on the stand. Like, okay, well, yeah, I did this. I stepped out on my man, my then boyfriend, but we really weren't like exclusive like that. We were dating. I'm like, shit, I bet you he thought y'all was exclusive. But anyway, this is her testimony, not Alex Fine's testimony, because they trying to get him on the stand. Hey, what's up, Francis? They want to get Alex Fine on the stand because they want to see, I think it's going to be the defense wants to get Alex on the stand because they want to see if there is going to be any contradictory statements and things made that he'll make that goes against what she made. So that's why yesterday, some of you may know, some of you may not, there was a point in the testimony when she was on stand where he had to leave the courtroom. So it wasn't that, oh, he just got tired of hearing what he was hearing, so he got up and left, like what the Diddy girls did earlier that week. They just dismissed themselves. So they like, you know what, it's too much. It's too much. That wasn't the case with him. Supposedly, he had to leave the room because he's on the witness list. So the testimony that she was about to give, it was going to overlap into the time period that he may potentially go on a stand and have to testify to. Because remember, he got inserted into the chat in like 2018. So conversations that take place with Cassie from 2018 post, he's in the picture. So it's like, okay, sir, I'm going to need for you to exit left because now she's going to testify on a period that right now is talks of having you testify during that same time period. So we don't want you to hear what she's saying about what popped off during the 2018 to 2023, whatever time period, because we don't want your statements to be impacted or you to base them on what she said. Y'all following me? Y'all following me? Because I sure was knee deep up in it yesterday. So I'm like, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. So this is where we're at. So today I was listening to this attorney. He's like a criminal defense attorney. I think his name is Bruce Rivers, white guy. He got like millions of subscribers on YouTube. He was like, y'all, this man going to damn jail. I don't care how you slice it, how you dice it, he going down. And let me tell you why. He was like, y'all, a RICO case, he said from what he's seen just this week alone, they didn't already got what they need. He said, I don't see why this ain't gonna be wrapped up by next week. Now, I told y'all yesterday when I came on here that they're saying it's supposed to take about 8 weeks. It's supposed to be about an 8-week situation. So this is taking us from Cinco de Mayo, because I told y'all this year Cinco de Mayo was hitting differently. We got student loans on Cinco de Mayo, Diddy trial on Cinco de Mayo, and y'all know it is the anniversary of the death of the late Kevin Samuels. He died on Cinco de Mayo, whenever he died, a couple of years ago, whenever. So Cinco de Mayo was just hitting different this year. So I was hearing that, okay, the trial's going to be about 8 weeks, so that takes us to the 4th of July. See, y'all see these holidays? See, that's how I be keeping up with stuff. I be associating stuff. The 4th of July. 4th of July, fireworks, whatever. It's supposed to be fireworks for a different reason than what? Independence Day? It's supposed to be a different reason. 4th of July is supposed to be lit up for the Diddy verdict this year. So 4th of July going to even be different this year. So this man, criminal defense attorney, was like, y'all, RICO cases, they don't typically go past 3 weeks. He was like, they normally don't go past 3 weeks. They don't need to go that long. He said, y'all remember that OJ trial that went on for eons or whatever? He said, no. Federal trials they don't take that long. They do not take that long. He said they're usually about 3 weeks. Hell, he said, I'm in a federal trial right now. So this is what he's saying. He says he sees it being wrapped up next week. But I don't know if he's factoring in the talks and the conversations centered around how it's supposed to take 8 weeks. I don't know where that came from, but that's what I was hearing, that it's supposed to be 8 weeks. I hope it doesn't take that long, but that's what they're saying. But he said, listen, the state, they got him. They have already proved the RICO. Let's talk about the trafficking. He said the sex trafficking, he said whether the person, the people, the participants are willing participants or not. Because remember, Cassie, in a lot of her text messages, she indicated she was a willing participant. But then there were some communications sometimes where she wasn't, because I think when she was trying to leave the hotel that day, she was trying to leave from having a freak off. She wanted to get away. This man said, listen, regardless of whether or not the person is here for the experience or not, it's still against the law to cross state lines and to participate in commercial sex acts. Let me repeat. He says whether or not you're a participant or not, if you cross state lines and you go and participate in commercial sex acts where there is money involved, it's against the law. Coercion in the RICO. He said Cassie could have said yes to 100 freak-offs. Just 100 of them bad boys, 100. But on the 101 one, he like, let's commemorate, let's celebrate for the 101. And she like, nah, I don't want to do it. If she forced to do it even just that one time, he's broken the law. That's violation. That's SA. Because she said no. She said no. That's no difference in, ladies and gents, if you're with your partner, your husband, your wife, whatever, and you didn't have 500 encounters with them where you were with it. But that 501 time, you were like, nah, I don't want it. And they force it on you. That's a charge. They've committed a crime and they can be tried and prosecuted for said crime. All it takes is one. So he said the part that's really just taking him for a loop. Let me see. Cancer You says, oh, wow, I didn't know that. This is why I appreciate your knowledge on what you speak on. Listen, y'all, I be trying, because y'all, I be having to learn my dang self. So I'm like, well, hell, while I'm learning each one, teach one. So that's why I come out here, because I be trying to understand. So I'm like, well, hell, shit, if I'm damn confused, some other folks might be confused. So let me come out here and help the people. Y'all double tap the screen for me. Hit the like button, like, share, and subscribe. So he said, this white man, he's an attorney. I think his name is Brian Rivers. Y'all look him up. He got a YouTube channel. And he was like, the part that's getting me is that this is a RICO. He said he ain't never seen a RICO case where there's only one defendant. Because he was like, usually, like, there's multiple people, right? You're the enterprise, like, you're looking for multiple people. You all think about any case where you've seen a RICO. It's been a RICO, they got RICO on it, and there's no other people's names mentioned. So what he's saying is that, given that he's the only one on trial, it's giving that the other people, the other co-conspirators, the other people, they basically done dry snitch. They done told on him. They've told on him. So that's why their names aren't being brought up, and it's not talking about as far as them being on trial and them having the dates, and their names not listed in paperwork, because they are cooperating with the feds. Interesting, right? Did y'all see what yesterday Justin Bieber came out like, listen here, y'all keep putting my name in the stuff. I'm over here minding my business with my wife, my kid. Listen. That man ain't done nothing to me. He ain't done nothing to me. Diddy ain't done nothing to me. Let me say it loud for the people in the back. Sean P. Diddy Combs have done nothing to me. Whether or not you want to believe that or not, like, that's on you. All we can go off of is what this man is saying. This man has come out and said, this man did not do anything to me. And we just got to take it for what it is. Just like how we take an Usher's silence for what it is. Usher ain't came out and said nothing. People can speculate, have water cooler conversations all they want. But if the person ain't coming out saying it, then at this point, it's just rumors, allegations, it's whatever. It don't stick. It don't stick. So it's nothing that can be held up. So he was like, listen, like, y'all leave my name out of this. I got enough struggles. Listen, I got a whole wife at home. So y'all know that's a different kind of experience when in a relationship. When he got a new baby, I believe he used to have some substance issues with substances, drugs and stuff like that. So he was like, listen, I'm just trying to live, keep my mental health. Listen, y'all leave me out of that. All right, then, Beebs, I hear you. I hear you. So this attorney was like, oh, and the fact that they ain't got nobody that's a witness that's raised their hand that we know of, that's saying that they are going to testify on his behalf. He was like, it leads me to believe that his team is for sure going to put him on the stand. Y'all let me know in the chat if y'all think it's going to be a good idea for this man to be put on the stand. Because more often than not, we always hear that that's not what you want. You don't want your person, your client going on the stand. But he was like, yo, in ordinary situations, okay. He was like, but this man ain't got nobody on his side that's scheduled that we know of to get on the stand to defend him. So he was like, at this point, if he don't have nobody, y'all, it's a one-sided case. And I'm like, he's right. Like, really think about it. Hello, if he doesn't have anybody to get on the stand to say, no, I seen Cassie at these parties. She was a willing participant. She did this and that. She wasn't forced. If he ain't got none of that, and you just got this one side saying he did this, he did that. Oh, Richard, what they say, Richard Richard got on that stand just as quick as they got her ass on that stand, they got her ass off that stand. They was like, get her off the stand. She started dropping tea, talking about, I did see him hit her. He had a skillet and everything. Y'all would took me out, y'all, when the attorney asked, Mr. Richard, what kind of skillet was it? It was black. It was black and it was hot and it had some eggs in it. It was black, it was hot, and it had some eggs in it, ma'am. That's all I know. I was in there trying to live just like Cassie and everybody else in that room. What do you mean? I don't know. It was a Paula Deen skillet. What's her name? Listen, I don't know. I don't know what kind of skillet it was. Can y'all imagine the court reporter having to type that in? What kind of skillet was it that you saw? This is that ish I be talking about. This is why we be wanting these cameras in these courtrooms, because it be these moments like this. We be like, girl, lady, if you don't cut your ish and stop playing, if you do not cut your ish and stop playing. But Don was on that stage, y'all, telling it all. They was like, object. Listen, I don't know what they thought that Don was supposed to come there. I don't know. But they was not ready for Miss Don Richard. Y'all, she was from Danny the King. She was ready. They said, you know how you see when somebody get on the stand and they say, well, do you see the person in the room? They said, hug on him and say, yes, he's right there. Y'all, listen, she had that black woman, and y'all know our energy be real different. It wasn't no Cassie Ventura energy. They said Don walked up in there ready. She was ready like hell. She was about to be the one, basically like she the star witness. They was like, wait a minute, this trial ain't about her and her opinion. But what she was saying was basically she was backing and supporting like what Cassie was saying, how Diddy was abusive to her. Don was like, she's right. I witnessed it. I was at his house. We were like in like this basement. I don't know if it was his house. They were at a house. I think it was maybe one of his spots. She said they were in the basement. I guess it's a 3-level home. They in the basement. He messed around and asked Cassie where the hell his food at, y'all. So y'all picture Ike and Tina. Y'all know anime, eat the food anime. Just picture Ike and Tina. Picture Ike and Tina. He didn't ask that young girl, because she was young at the time. This was in 2009. My calculation had her to be a good about a 23 around that time, because I think they got together in about '07. So this is 2 years in a relationship. That man after around and asked her where the hell his food was at. She didn't have the right response. He cussed her out and told her how she don't ever get nothing right, and just started just putting hands and feet on her. The girl dropped to the ground. Don said he done picked up the skillet, y'all, off the stove with the eggs in it, and just start, listen, I done told y'all, the attorney said, well, can you care to tell us what kind of skillet it was? She wanted to know what kind of skillet he used to go upside this woman's head. She said he started, next thing you know, he drags Cassie up the daggone stairs. The next day, so Dawn said she shook, she appalled, like, what is this? What is this? Did he just drag the princess? Did he just drag the bad boy? Like, what we doing here? Y'all, she said the next day, her and the other people who was at that house that night before, he said, listen, let's have a conversation about what you seen. He said, what you seen was an act of passion. Now, y'all, listen. I'm a Scorpio just like the diddler is. I just don't put it out there. We the same in that regard. We passionate people. But mother effer, passion, you didn't kick this little girl at... Y'all, I'm not passionate like that. He told them people, y'all, that was passion. What you seen was passion. It wasn't more to that, but I got something else to add. Don't be going around talking about what you seen. That's what you're not going to do. That's what you don't need to do. Because people that go around talking about what they seen, they come up missing. Things happen. So that's not what you want to do. Then the attorney, Miss Richard, did you say anything or talk? She like, no, I did not. That man showed me that was passion. And I seen he had a different kind of passion. Listen, that man said it was passion. She said that was one of many times that she seen him putting hands and feet on that young woman. I don't even know, y'all, if Dawn is going to get back on the stand next week on Monday, because literally she was only up there for maybe, I don't even know, y'all, if it was a full 10 minutes, because Cassie was up there before lunch. When they came back, I feel like Cassie got off the stand around 3:30ish, 4 o'clock. So within an hour, they had a sex trafficking detective person, somebody who was a part of arresting him. Y'all, this that stupid ish. Now, I done told y'all I'm a Scorpio too, but I need for y'all to understand, all the Scorpios don't move like this. We're strategists. We smart with it. We think, I don't know, Scorpio, Diddy on some other kind of shit. I can't even justify the damn shit he on. He on some other shit. The Scorpio in me, the strategist in me, wouldn't have done the stupid ish that he did. But that's why when I heard that the bipolar part got inserted into the chat, I said, yeah, that sound about right. Because a lot of what he doing, that shit is so damn dumb, so where we got to be dealing with some mental health disorders. Those of you who are familiar with my content, y'all know my background is clinical mental health counseling. I hold a whole master's degree in that. Clinical mental health counseling. That's my ish. Diagnoses, all that shit. Listen, this is what I do. This is what I do. So when I heard that put out there, I said, I can see that. I can see that. Let's talk about the examples of the dumb ish that something got to be wrong with you for you to do. So y'all remember when the people, so he was initially supposed to turn himself in when it came to this case. He's supposed to turn himself in. They talked him into coming, to New York, whatever, from wherever, to prepare to turn himself in. But here's the thing. They didn't wait for him to go to courthouse, wherever he was supposed to turn himself in. They silently rolled up on him at his hotel. He wasn't expecting that because remember, he and his team were expecting for them to walk themselves into wherever, likely probably the next following day. Let me tell you how it went down. They rolled up on him unexpectedly. When they rolled up on him, y'all, he was in a whole situation that was giving freak off preparation. Let's talk about why I say that. When they rolled up on him at that hotel, y'all, like, think about it. This mofo is like hours away from turning himself in for ish, dealing with freak-offs and drugs and all kinds of ish. And he's still partaking in the activities that he's been accused of wrongfully doing. This one, you know. Remember when they threw out bipolar? I said, yeah, I can see that, because that dumb ish that he doing, that ish don't make no, that don't make no sense. And anybody who know anything about bipolar disorder, y'all know that these people be moving in a way that shit just don't make no sense. And it's not supposed to make sense to me and you because we don't have that disorder. But when you understand bipolar disorder and understand that chemical, that imbalance, and how their thought process is very off, that part makes sense to you. So the fact that you don't make sense, you can't make sense as of what they're doing, that's the part that makes sense to you or me, that yes, it likely is bipolar disorder into play because of these things that are playing out. Anyway, these folks, y'all, that rolled up on that man at this hotel. Y'all, he already got, y'all know, he already got the situation laid out in there in the room. He got the product. Remember the baby oil? Remember they had confiscated like over 1,000 bottles of the baby oil, and it's supposed to have had something like inside of it. Listen, at the hotel, oh, they rolled up on more of that in the room. They rolled up on more than that. They rolled up on that in the room, some pills in the room, just all that ish that they had already found. Hey, what's up, Veronica? All that ish that they had already found before, that's a part of the investigation. When they rolled up on him in the hotel to arrest him, he had more of that ish in there. That's that bipolar ish I'm talking about, that I'm saying, yeah, I can see the bipolar coming out, because this ish don't make sense. This ish don't make sense. They said even when you go in the bathroom, it was some baby oil in the tub. He had more. Listen, Armand Wiggins said, your ass literally, when you open up the door, you are literally slipping and sliding into some ass. He said because the oil was already just waiting there for you. So you just sliding up into the ass. These are the words of Armand Wiggins. Then he said when you slide up into the ass and you get there near the bedroom, there is a camera. So don't think that you finna go there and get busy and this ish ain't recorded. Because remember, he got everybody on tape. Before I started doing this live, I seen somebody have a video out there that's saying, it might have been Tisa Tales in the title, of saying, Diddy like Kim, I'm gonna need for you to use your connects to get me out of this ish, or else I'm gonna drop this info, this tea that I got on you, these videos I got on you. I done told y'all when them feds rolled up in there at the hotel, there was cameras already set up. He has a habit of recording his shenanigans. Listen, bipolar disorder. I done told y'all the issue don't make sense. How you just recording yourself, just getting your own self caught up. He had the camera. Also, y'all, I'm not done. This mofo also had a bag with $9,000 cash in there. So after you go in there and you make it do what it do, hello, on your way out is your payment at the door. So remember, Armand says you slip and slide into some ass when you get into the room. You're slipping and sliding into the ass. You in the camera, say cheese. You turn right and go into the bathroom. You oil your ass up with the baby oil. That's waiting in the tub for you. It's about 4 bottles waiting in the tub for you. You pop you a pill because there was some pills in there. Then you bring your ass out. You handle your business in front of the camera. And then as you slide your ass back to the front of the door, you cash out. Did y'all follow any of that? Did y'all follow any of that? That's all of that is the bipolar. All of that is damn bipolar. All of that. There was a woman there. There was a woman. So how I learned about this, his team, while the lady who was a part of the feds, while she was talking about, because her job, she said, my job there was there to just capture listen, I was there supposed to capture the moment with my camera. That was my job. She was the photographer. So she got all this ish on camera. That was her job. Diddy's team said, okay, the only question for her was there a woman also in the room at the time you arrested Diddy? And her response was, yes. They then says, that'll be all, no more questioning. So think about it. The reason why they wanted to put that out there to plant that is because, remember, I told y'all he had cash. There was a bag of $9,000 worth of cash. So if you, by them throwing that out, it's planting a seed that, okay, well, yeah, there was money in the room, but we don't know if it was Diddy's money. Y'all did say it was another woman in the room. So that's how they kind of left that hanging in regards to the $9,000. But y'all, this man was just so sick that even leading up to turning himself in, he had to get a freak off in. I really believe that his thoughts was, hey, I'm about to go turn myself in, bail out, come on back to my hotel room, and have round number 2. He didn't even get to get round number 1 because the feds came in and messed up. They effed that party up, effed everybody high up. When they came up in there, they done took all the damn baby oil. So I don't listen, y'all. He act like he can't function without the damn baby oil. They done took the baby oil. Oh yeah, they said he had the little strobe, the little lights and stuff, the strobe. Y'all, he had the whole situation. It was giving disco up in there. He had the whole situation going. So it was like a freak off in the making. Like, yo, like we're getting ready to have a freak off. But they intervened. They came before it got on and popping. They came before it got on and popping. And then when he did, they rolled up and arrested him. Remember, they denied his bail. Like 3 judges denied his bail. They said, oh, hell no. Y'all, this was before even a talks of a bipolar. Like, I just learned about the whole bipolar being a thing this week. Because today when I was listening to the attorney talk about it, he mentioned it. And I'm like, bipolar? I ain't never heard that. Because, so here's the thing. Let me tell y'all how the bipolar came about. Let me see. Hold on, y'all. Let me try to get through some of these comments before I pick up. Y'all know when I do my walk and talk, the juices get to flowing and I let it all out. That's why these walk and talks be infamous. I ain't done one in a while. But let me see. Acura said if they put him on the stand, the prosecutors will eat him alive. Listen, yes. But that attorney says, if they don't, who the freak gonna get up there to speak on his behalf? It's gonna be like a one-sided type trial. Where do we ever see that? Where do we ever see that? Let me just tell y'all, listen, I think the man where he needs to be, he needs to listen. He is a whole menace out here. But let me tell y'all just from my knowledge. I don't even know my little minimal basic knowledge. Just y'all listen, I got education and all that, but a lot of this issue I come out here and I talk to y'all, it be straight on some common sense type stuff. When you know, it don't be that deep. It be really on some common sense stuff. If they're throwing out there bipolar disorder, and remember I say as of right now, we don't know of anybody on his side that's supposed to testify. If I were a part of his team, you know who I would have lined up to testify? A doctor, somebody with credentials like mine and above, because I have a master's. There's only one more degree above me is going to be a doctorate. I'm just 1 degree away from that, which is probably about 2 more years worth of some classes before I can be goddamn Dr. Taylor. If they put somebody up there who's a specialist, who's a psychologist, or a doctor, somebody who's versed in mental illness, and they speak on bipolar disorder, and they talk about how he has been diagnosed with that, that would make a difference for his defense, because it's not going to help with justifying or concluding of whether or not he did something or not. What it's going to do is make a difference when it comes to the sentencing and how they view him, how harshly they view him when it comes to sentencing or like treatment. You see what I'm saying? Because it's not going to say, okay, because he got bipolar disorder, he did this to Cassie, so it's justifiable. It's not saying that. What it's saying is, okay, yes, he did that, but here's context behind the why. That's going to change the thought process when it comes to punishment. I don't know if they're going to go that angle, but my thing is, if they're sitting in him having that, that would be a very wise strategy for them to do. Because at this point, as they're bringing up this person to testify on the stand to say this, they're now sitting in, okay, he did these things. We can't fight it. We can't just, like, he did it. But what we can do is say, okay, yes, he did it. It was wrong. It was bad. But let's talk about the why. We have someone who can testify to say his mentals is not where it needs to be. He got mental health disorders. Let's talk about the why. And that plays a part in sentencings a lot when the courts want to go with the notion that there is mental illness in play. That's why a lot of times people want to insert that into the conversation. Or I believe right before the trial, he was talking about wanting to have some type of plea of, something centered around insanity or mental imbalance or something like that. But listen, I didn't know where that was coming from. But now, since I just learned this morning, from someone that apparently during the week, it came up that he had bipolar disorder, I said, and me being familiar with bipolar disorder, and then I even went and looked more into bipolar disorder to just be reminded of just all that comes along with that diagnosis. I was like, I can see it. Y'all, mental health is my background. So I'm like, I can see him having that. It doesn't justify anything, but I can see it. So how it came about, y'all, when Cassie was on the stand and she was talking about the abuse that he did, I think it was centered around, it was either she was talking about when he AR'd her or after he beat her up at the hotel. It was centered around that because they was really coming at her about both of those instances around the same time, pretty heavy. And they said, Miss Ventura, did you tell the prosecutors that he had been acting kind of funny, acting kind of weird and stuff? I think, y'all, this was centered around the day she got AR'd, because she said they had a good time. They went hanging out. Remember, this is the part that only Alex Fine clearly didn't know, that she was out hanging with him. This was earlier on when she was dating Alex Fine, her now husband. She said that he was acting odd. She said he was nice, but something was just odd. It was just different because she'd been around him so many times. So she know like all the temperaments, all the behaviors of his. And then she was like, when they got back to her place, that's when he AR'd her on her floor. So then they said, his team, they were cross-examining her, the defense. They were like, well, is it true that you told the prosecutors that he could have been showing signs of bipolar disorder? And her response was, well, yeah. Y'all see what I'm saying? It's giving context to the behavior, the disturbing behavior when you enter bipolar disorder into the chat. So therefore, a lot of times when people do crazy things and then you hear, this person got this mental illness, people then start saying, oh shit, yeah, I guess, wow, that's effed up. They don't really go deep in thought to be wondering, well, why would they do that? I can't believe them. It's almost like when you insert the mental health aspect, it almost put a period on it, because you have your justification as to why this person did this effed up thing. Because you're like, well, damn, they did say he was schizophrenic. They said he was bipolar. You know, he ADD over there, you know, so it just kind of put the period there, and you move past trying to wonder why. You move past trying to wonder why. So I feel like when it comes to him, that's what they were trying to do when she was on the stand, to give justification behind why he did it, and to show that, okay, yes, he did this, but you know, just like we know, he suffers from bipolar disorder. Listen, y'all, I'm just putting it out there. I'm telling y'all what had happened, and then I'm kind of intertwining with it with conversations centered around mental health, because that's just kind of what I know, mental health. Many of you, welcome. Like the video, like, share, subscribe. But anytime on my channels, I got 2 of them, y'all. I insert, anytime I talk about a topic, I insert mental health. I talk about things also from the angle of mental health to help people understand what you see playing out. And yeah, it just helps, because a lot of issues, you know, that I know, I don't expect people to be knowing, or people brain to kind of go there. But y'all, I'm mental health all day long. I walk around diagnosing people all the time. I can't help it. Listen, I can't help it. So when they said bipolar, I'm like, listen, you ain't got to convince me, because I can see all that playing out. Y'all, do me a solid. Look up bipolar disorder. Look up bipolar disorder. Bump that up against all the goddamn shenanigans that he been doing up until he was still trying to slip and slide at the hotel room before turning himself in. Get into the diagnosis of bipolar disorder. Bump that up to all his shenanigans, and then let me know your thoughts. It's not an excuse or justification, but it's giving context to what's playing out. And I say all this to say that I still think he needs to be dealt with to the full extent, because I'm going to add this. Even though somebody may be clinically diagnosed with something, especially like a bipolar disorder, please know that these people know very well and have enough sense to know that they have to take their medication. Because when you take your medication, it has you to function in a more healthy way. So it's not enough to be like, okay, he's bipolar, and he knew he was bipolar. The responsibility is still on him to get treatment for said disorder. Because a lot of times when people start doing stupid-ish and they got mental health struggles, they've come off their meds. They're not doing what they're supposed to do. I've seen it all day long working in the mental health hospital. Y'all, I've seen them from people who suffer from addiction to the most severe, which is going to be your schizophrenia. And y'all don't F around and meet a person with both schizophrenia and bipolar. Y'all, I didn't even know that was a whole combination until I worked at the mental health hospital. That ain't what you want. That is not what you want. But you got a lot of people who struggle with both. But these people know good and dang well that they have these disorders, and there is medication that they need to take to manage them. And a lot of them do not like to do it, because here's the thing. Many of them will report and say, well, I don't like taking it because I don't like how it makes me feel. It makes me, I feel like when I take it, I feel loopy, I feel drowsy. I don't like how it makes me feel. So guess what? They come off of it. And whenever they come off of it, guess what? They wind up back in the hospital. And then somebody like me is talking to them about a treatment plan and the importance of staying on it. I'm talking to family, if there's supports in their life, family supports, to talk to them about the importance of them taking their medications on schedule. And if they do feel like they're having a reaction or some type of response to it, they need to talk to their doctor about changing up the prescription. It is never okay to just be like, I don't like how that make me feel, So I'm going without, because when that happens, that's when stupid ish like what we've been seeing play out with Diddy. This is when ish like this and beyond take place. Kanye West, I'll never forget some years back when Kim was, I think she probably was still with Kanye. They might have had just broken up. I don't damn know, because they had a long stint together. I heard her say, Kanye, yes, he's bipolar, but he don't be taking his medicine. What? No, he don't take it. Well, why don't he take it, Kim? He says because it messes with his creative juices. Remember, I told y'all, when people take these medications, it starts to make them feel differently. Think about any of you all that are on some type of medication. Those medications are called psychotropic drugs. So it's going to make you feel kind of different, but though it's supposed to be still doing something to the brain to make it function better, more normal. But yeah, y'all know how it be having, these medications be still having these side effects and stuff. So it's wins and losses. So I get it when Kim said that Kanye said it impacts his creative juices, because a lot of these medications, you all, are like depressants. So it kind of brings you down. It's like a downer. So somebody who shows bipolar, a lot of times, like, they be kind of up and down. It's almost like they got multiple like personalities. It's just, and that's much of a lot of what Cassie talked about, how she kept seeing him kind of change, going and out these different moves and behaviors. Y'all, that's bipolar. So that's one of the signs of it. There's more, but that's one of them. Erratic behaviors, the temperament, not sleeping. Y'all, look into it. So when Kim said that, I understood what she was talking about, because I understand how the psychotropic drugs and medication starts to kind of bring you down. And if you're a creative person, you're creative. Kanye's creative. So when you're a creative person and you on something that's kind of bringing you down, I can see the battle between him trying to get his creative juices flowing to be up here and be in that studio and rocking, wilding out, vibing out. But then you on some type of medication that's kind of bringing you down here. So you can't really get up here because the meds got you down here. I understood. But that's the danger, because the person is at a crossroad. It's like, damn, I need to take these meds to function, to make sure that I'm healthy, I'm good, the people around me are good, but I also still need to work. I need to create. I need to produce. I need to do these things. I can't do these things if I'm doing this medicine right here, because it's not making me, it's altering how I feel. So I got to pick one. Okay, I'm going to not take the medicine today. I'm just not going to take the medicine today because I got to create. But guess what? They're going to eventually leave that creative environment and go around people and family. And sometimes people are in that creative environment and they're dealing with the person who is off their medication. So even though that person is just giving what they're supposed to give from a creative standpoint, it's the other parts of them that the people are subjected to because they're not on the medication. I understand that battle, and that's a bad place to be in. It's a bad place to be in, but your health is most important. Your health is most important. So for somebody who do suffer from bipolar disorder and they feel like it interferes with their creative juices, they're going to have to find a way to work around that or do something else for a living. Because coming off your meds should not ever be an option. Because when people come off their meds, it's not easy for them to get back on track. Most of the time they need, y'all done seen where Kanye get admitted. Y'all, anytime if you ever see or hear about Kanye getting admitted and put in the hospital, he's getting back on track. And on track is going to mean medication. He's getting his medical plan, his treatment plan. We call it a treatment plan. He's getting his treatment plan together. So therefore they can see, okay, sir, this is what you've been prescribed. Let's talk about, have you been taking it? We showed it. We show you haven't had it filled in a while. Like, they can see all of that stuff based off of his behaviors. They can tell if he's been off of the meds. Like, these people can tell. because you know the symptoms. So he has to stay in these environments while he's in there. He's on track. He's getting these medications, because when you go into these mental health environments, oh, don't think you finna be up in there on some type of, I don't take medicines. Come again? Doc, I don't take medicines. Y'all, when you go into a mental health facility, you are on some medications. Y'all see in the movies where y'all see them people lined up at the window and that issue's real. And try to act like you ain't finna take your medication. You don't want to take your medication. They will literally hold you down to make you take that medication. So it ain't no what you don't take. You're not going home until you take this medication, however much they feel like you need to be taking it. Period. This is what happened when you get inside of one of those places. So when Kanye gets into those places, he's getting back. He's getting back on track. He's getting these medications. Now, when he leaves, that's another story. But when he's in there, they getting him together. He's getting back on whatever. So with Puffy, that's why I say it's not an excuse to be like, oh, he has bipolar disorder. Okay, next conversation. What has he done to manage said condition? That's what the state can say. Okay, we hear that. But can you talk to us about, is he been treated for it? Does he take his medication for it? Does he feel like we need to talk about it, because we can't just sit in, he has bipolar disorder and we got a period. We got to talk about, what are you doing about that? See, it's more than just, the first step is just admitting you have a problem, y'all. That's not the period. That's just step number one. That's going to be your first step. The next step is you taking action. Let's talk about the action plan. What have you been doing? What have you been doing? So if they don't come this angle, as I say, with inserting the bipolar disorder, it's because they're not going to be able to speak to what he's been doing to manage that. Because they're going to have that responsibility to follow up with, well, what has he been doing? Because you can't just sit in, he has this. If he has this, okay. But let's talk about what he's been doing. Has he been treating it? Does he go to counseling for it? Let's talk about it. Don't tell it all. Don't tell some and not tell it all. That's basically the energy that the state gonna have. Listen, don't be telling some and not tell it all. We need to hear it all. What the freak have he been doing to manage said mental health disorder? If they don't come and bring it up to make it a serious issue, I think that's gonna be why. Because they're not gonna be able to kind of back. I'm just saying, y'all, like I said, I know mental health. I know the conversations that be had centered around mental health, and it goes beyond the diagnoses. It's going into the treatment. We have to talk about the treatment. Bromlena says bipolar disorder and sociopath are two different disorders. He offended everybody with bipolar when he said that. So that's the thing. When if he has bipolar disorder, you can't just throw that on somebody. It has to be backed with a doctor diagnosing you with that. Somebody who has a doctor credential. I can't even diagnose. So the difference between myself and a doctor. I don't have the credentials to diagnose. I am not a doctor. I have the credentials of like a therapist, but not a doctor. So what I can do, if I were to just say, okay, I want to be active as a therapist out here. I get my license. I'm in Georgia. I go get my license. Right now I got the degree education. I don't have my license active. I go get the license. I do that. If I'm meeting with someone and I'm seeing characteristic symptoms and I'm seeing it being bipolar disorder, what I do the write-up, the recommendation, my assessment. I hand it over to the psychiatrist, that's going to be the psychiatrist. I hand it to them and say, yo, this is what I believe it is. Kind of like, think about, I'd like to use the example of a nurse and a doctor. How y'all know the nurses be doing all the work when y'all at the doctors, but it's like that doctor who come in and kind of do that final stamp. So It's the same thing. So I'll hand it off to that doctor. They'll be like, okay, Sheik, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I agree. Then they will then be the one to sign off on it, make it official, and be able to prescribe medication. So they can confirm, or they basically not confirm, they're confirming what I said by doing the official formal diagnosis. And then they can prescribe medication. You all, that's on record. So for his team to introduce and want to talk about bipolar disorder, they're going to have to back it with that, with the document, with the support of a doctor saying, yes, he's been diagnosed with it. But beyond that, it's going to have to be a conversation centered around, has he received treatment for it? Has he received treatment for it? Likely no. So I don't know if he's been diagnosed or not. All I'm saying is I'm seeing the characteristics. But here's the thing. You can have multiple characteristics. He can have bipolar disorder and hell, a sociopath, whatever else you want to call it. You can have multiple diagnoses. A lot of people who got severe mental illness, suffer from severe mental illness, they have multiple diagnoses. I done told y'all, I done seen the schizophrenia and the bipolar disorder combined. I'm like, oh, hell, y'all. Listen, hold on. I'm walking towards my house. Let me try to get some lights on. I done seen them both. That ain't what you want. You don't want no twofer. That ain't what you want when you're dealing with mental health. You do not want no twofer. I have seen the twofer. Uh-oh. That's not what I want. I don't know if this is going to be enough light. I need to change out my light. Let me go in my house. Hold on. Okay. So what I was saying is like, you can have more than one diagnosis. I'm just saying I'm not ruling out bipolar disorders, but there may be other things as well. I haven't stopped to look at anything else, but when that got inserted into the chat, I'm like, I can see that. That's all I'm saying. I can see that. It's up to his team to show the receipts to back that statement or that claim, but they did kind of throw it out there. They did insert bipolar disorder. So it's going to be interesting. But now that I'm stationary, let me try to get into some of these comments. Regina Jones says, indeed, mental health is a serious topic. Thanks for exploring what I've been saying. Thank you for being here, Ms. Jones. Karen says, how about evil disorder? Listen, people be having multiple disorders. So I think that man has many things going on. He got a lot going on. Let me see. Rakaya said, I heard that the freak-offs were a practice of sex, man. Listen, I don't put nothing past nothing because that Hollyweird life, I want no parts of it. I don't want any parts of it. Pamela says, I don't think so because he never speak treatment or took responsibility for his actions. Too many people run the streets killing people or some people on fire. Sean can get treatment or in jail. Yep. AJ Cruz says, most of his lawyers left, his kids left, and probably no really good doctor wants to be associated at this point. All of that. From what I heard, the reason why the girls left, is because they needed to, it's graduation season, and the twins are graduating high school, and they needed to get ready for graduation. So that was what I heard as to why they left. They were there the first couple of days, and then they kind of left. So I'm like, okay, well, that makes sense. You got to get ready. They have their life. But I did hear how they were earlier this week when they were in there was a moment when they had to walk out because it was just too much. So I imagine it's very hard for them. Sheena says a lot of drills that they can, whatever they want, and they're untouchable. So they are totally, and they get away with it. Money talks. Unfortunately, luxury is key. Metro Atlanta realtor. Hey, I don't know, that might be my sister. Hey, Kiana, if that's you. I think that's you. I haven't seen you join my live in a while. But listen, let me know your thoughts. Diddy, his team has thrown out bipolar disorder. Let me know. Are you here for that diagnosis? Do you see? Anybody in here suffer from bipolar disorder? There's so many people, y'all, that have bipolar disorder, to where it's crazy. Like Bobby Brown had bipolar disorder. Y'all, did y'all know that? Bobby Brown had, I said had, hell, he's still around here kicking. Bobby Brown is, he has bipolar disorder. Who else said they got bipolar disorder? Y'all, it's a lot of people who say they got bipolar disorder. You said it's me. I don't get notifications anymore. Oh, don't worry about it, because I don't be going live on this channel, Rich. I'll be on my second channel. So for y'all who say I ain't been getting notifications, because I ain't damn been putting nothing out. It ain't broke. I ain't done ish. I've been on my second channel. I have a second channel. Sheik Speaks on it. It used to be my smaller channel, child. Now that's my bigger channel. I told y'all that's where I've been. I've been over there just running, popping off at the mouth, talking all things politics. So if you are into that, go holla at me. Go follow me over there. I got over 3,000 subscribers over there. But this is now my smaller channel because I've been playing. I've been playing games. Listen, y'all, I've been playing. But this week, this Diddy stuff, listen, I said, listen, I got some itch to say. Let me go and pop back out on my OG channel. Let me go show my OGs some love. So Sheik is back over here because I'm like, I don't know what to be talking about over there because y'all been so engulfed in the politic talk over there. So that's Sheik Speaks on it. Sheik Speaks on it. So it's just kind of like all things, just politics, things that's going on, these tariffs, all of that. If you want to hear what the hell I got to say about that, because y'all know I be having ish to say. I got the same energy, just a different topic. Follow me over there. But today, this week, last couple of days, I've been really engulfed into this Diddy situation and my mental health, y'all. This brain, these juices get to going. And today, when I heard bipolar disorder, it just took me there because, y'all, my background, clinical mental health, y'all, that's my ish. That's just, listen, that's just my ish. Your girl can be a whole therapist out here, but I choose to be on the internet with you all. Brolena says bipolar equals periods of intense and happiness, mania or hypomania to periods of deep sadness or despair, not periods of violence, rape, and assault. So here's the thing, Brolena. Remember I talked about how you can have multiple diagnoses. So that doesn't mean that he doesn't have bipolar. That just means that it don't stop there. That just means that there are some other things that could be playing out as well. Okay, y'all about to get an education lesson over here. I told y'all, I affectionately call my subscribers honor students. We are lifetime learners. We ask them questions, asking all them questions. We ask questions because what I say, smart people ask questions. We go deep, deep dive. Y'all, the DSM-5. The DSM-5. So for people, mental health professionals, that's like our Bible. That's the Bible. So that's what we study from. It's a purple book. It's a thick book. And it has like all the clinical diagnoses in it. And it has like all the symptoms and things. Look, it got everything in there. You looking to diagnose the hell going on with somebody, you pull that book out and you're going to find something. You're going to find a few things that might be going on with them. So part of with my education, that's how I had to become versed in, okay, looking into symptoms, seeing if certain symptoms fall into multiple diagnoses. So you don't just stop at one. That's why a lot of people who suffer from mental illness, it's multiple. There's commas. It ain't no one and done. Like you got bipolar, schizophrenia, anxiety. You know what I'm saying? So I believe that this man could very well suffer from multiple. It's no excuse. It's just giving background context to what we may be seeing playing out. That's what I'm saying. Rakaya says, I don't think he's bipolar because it was said that he was one way when the cameras were on and a different person when they off. Here's the thing with bipolar disorder. Bipolar disorder, you are jumping. It's almost very similar to like how somebody would have like personality disorder. And in Cassie's testimony, she talked about how he would just kind of go between like these different like personalities. And it'd be like, what the hell? Because that's kind of what a lot of people say when somebody is showing signs of bipolar disorder. You're like, what the hell? You confused because it was like you were just given this like not that long ago. Now you're giving this. So I'm just saying, for me personally, I don't think the idea of him being bipolar is far-fetched. I don't know if he is, but I'm saying I'm seeing characteristics. I have not stopped to go deep dive and to explore other characteristics that I may see play out. But when they mentioned that one, I just said, I see it. I see it. Reading books says skits is non-trust, etc. Berlina says yes, definitely multiple. I wish he would state the others, which show why he is a menace to people's safety. I like that. I agree. Rakaya says that's why I asked earlier, was bipolar behavior performative? Yeah. So in the description of it, I know it's not it's not something that's performative, but it could be other characteristics that he could have that could be a part of. But from my understanding with bipolar disorder, it's not, you're not kind of turning it on and off. It's just you just going through these different, it's like a bipolar disorder is still, I think, still falls underneath like mood disorders. So you got different levels of like mood disorders. Bipolar disorder, people with bipolar disorder is also going to show like signs of like anxiety, being anxious. What else? They'll show signs of like depression. So here's the thing, you all, also when it comes to mental health. Yes, mood swings. A lot of mental health, like the descriptives of mental health, you'll see the same symptoms in different mental health disorders. They'll just like, okay, don't sleep that much. You'll see that play out in multiple disorders. Hyperactive, you know, talking a lot. You'll see that play out in different disorders. You know, you might see hyperactive talking a lot, maybe in schizophrenia. You may see a vast change in behavior in schizophrenia. So that's why we're taught to see what characteristics fall into what categories and what percentage of them fall into what category. And that can kind of help you lean into what the diagnosis is likely. But you can have more than one, but it's almost like you're checking off the list. So if you're looking under bipolar and you're looking at all the things, I don't have the list in front of me, but you all can Google it and you start checking off the list. Do you see that? And like, okay, I see that. Let's move on to another diagnosis, another disorder, and look at what the symptoms are there and see if any of what I'm seeing is playing out under that. And you might be like, okay, now I'm looking underneath schizophrenia. Okay, there's 8 things that's listed under schizophrenia. I see 2 things under schizophrenia, but under bipolar, I checked off everything under bipolar. So now you're leaning more now into the bipolar. You see what I'm saying? Because it's kind of like you're seeing which one is more likely. You're seeing which one is, so it's not an easy thing that you do, but like as you get used to seeing people with certain disorders and seeing the characteristics, it becomes easier for you to diagnose or to say, okay, which one it is. Y'all know what I can easily identify. I can easily identify ADD. I can easily identify depression. I can identify anxiety. A lot of people have anxiety. I probably would say the most popular one. I think a lot of people have anxiety disorder and they don't even know where they suffer. How many of you sometimes feel like very anxious, but ain't nobody ever diagnosed you with nothing and you don't even take anything for it, but you know you be feeling anxious? Anxiety disorder. There's a lot of people who struggle with anxiety disorder, but they don't take it. There's a lot of people you all that struggle with a lot of things, but they're not medicated because many people have not been diagnosed with anything because we're not going to go see someone to be diagnosed. Y'all know, especially the people that look like me, we don't even go to like therapists and stuff like that. A lot of times, if we want to talk to somebody on that type of level, that issue is court ordered. It is not because we just want to go do it. Somebody said, listen, if you want to get some time off of work, this is what you need to do. If you want to get to that check, that bag, this is what you need to do. It ain't on some, oh, I just want to just go and talk to somebody. That's just not what my people do. That's just not what we do. We do that the least out of any group. We do that the least out of any group. But mental health is real. AJ Cruz, so respectfully, I don't think there's anything wrong with him except he allowed his money and power to go to his head. Well, I respect your opinion. Many people have opinions. So, and that's the thing with this situation is that a lot of people have opinions, including myself. I just happen to be somebody who have a platform and who's just coming out here sharing my opinion. But I always welcome you all's opinion, which is like why I like to go live. I do more lives. I don't really do pre-recorded content. It just don't hit the same as my lives. I really like to just hear what you all have to say because it's food for thought, even for me. Because my thing, y'all. So my background is mental health counseling. So I'm always just looking at things from that angle a lot of times because I know a lot of people struggle with it. And most of the people I believe that struggle with mental health, they have not been formally or officially diagnosed with anything. But because of my background, I can see symptoms. I can see things. I can see things play out. Dr. J said 20 more likes to reach the goal of 50. Yes, thank you so much. Please like the video. 64 of you all still in here. Like the video, like, share, and subscribe. We're just talking today. What else I wanted to add with this trial? So, question, do you all think that Diddy should get on the stand to testify? Do y'all think he should get on the stand to testify? Because right now, child, we ain't seen nobody. It ain't no names being dropped that said to be coming to the front of the congregation on behalf of the diddler. Y'all, did y'all hear the story of the one lady who said she was violated by Diddy? I was telling my husband and this, and he was like, she didn't have to do all that. I'm like, yes, the hell she did, because that's something I probably would have done. There's a woman. I'm not quite sure which one of these women whose story this is, but there's this woman. She says, Luxury Keys says, I don't think it would be in his best interest to get on the stand. Y'all, let me know in the comments. So there's a woman who said that he violated her. So once so she already seen, what's about to go down. He got me stuck. Like, I can't go nowhere, whatever. She said when that man pulled his pants down and she seen that thing look like a little Tootsie Roll. She said she was just like, oh, well, at least it's not going to hurt. Ain't that some shit, y'all? I don't know. It might end up coming out by the court reporter when she get on the stand if she reiterate that. She was like, listen, he about to do what he gonna do. It ain't nothing I could do. I'm just gonna have to take one for the team, but at least the ish ain't gonna hurt. Why? Because it looks like a little black Tootsie Roll. That's what the damn woman said. Sometimes, y'all, in situations, you gotta look at the glass half full instead of half empty. That's all she was able to do in the moment. She listened like shit. Lord, thank you, Lord. At least the thing, at least it's this, because it could be worse. It can tear me all up, and I already don't want to do it. But at least if it's this, I really ain't gonna feel no motion. It's just gonna be the idea that his goddamn ass on top of me. But at least when it was this, it ain't gonna. I'm just saying. Sometimes you gotta look for the wins in a situation. You gotta look for the wins. So if y'all in anybody's commentary hear reference of Tootsie Roll, that's what the Tootsie Roll mean. That's what it means. That some of y'all like, I didn't know why that white man was saying Tootsie Roll. That is why, because that woman said that thing was little, so she knew, well, whatever he about to do, I know it ain't gonna hurt. And I guess it didn't hurt. Listen, it wasn't no tearing going on there. It was not no tearing on that encounter. I'm just saying, listen, that's what she said. That's just what she said. I'm just telling y'all what she said. I ain't say it. That's just what that woman said. I don't know which woman said that, but listen, it's on record out there. Karen says, I think we would like to see him on the stand, but he won't. PM said no, because the prosecution will tear him up. Rita Book said somebody been lying. That's what I said. I said, no wonder why. I said, so these women clearly wasn't there for that. It had to be them dollars, because if she said it was given Tootsie Roll, like, We know it wasn't about that. I don't even know if any of us ever even thought it was about that, because most of us probably, he ain't even nobody that I personally found to be attractive. I'm just going to say what it is. So I think when that woman came out and said that, we were like, okay, we know Carisha, Young Miami. Oh, okay, now we really know what it was about. Because y'all remember, she was on record talking about how she liked golden showers and everything. Y'all, we need Carisha to come up to the front of the congregation. Do y'all think that Carisha will be will be a witness for the Diddy? Would Carisha be in his corner? Remember, he put her on, had her get her own show. I think she messed around, y'all, effed around and won an award for the best show. Y'all remember that? That's when people knew that being bought and paid for, that was real, when they can pay and get you some awards. When that woman won for the best show for her Carisha Please little podcast, that's when we knew. That's when we knew this ish wasn't real. So as we're talking about who gonna come up and testify on his behalf, Carisha, the Carisha that I want to give Diddy twins. Where are you? Where are you, sis? Where are you? JT, where is your girl? Because if anybody gonna be talking on, listen, Carisha, where you at? And y'all know who I just got to thinking about today in the midst of all this? Y'all, why I got to thinking about Steve Harvey and Lori Harvey? I don't listen to the radio anymore. Ever since the pandemic, I don't listen to radio in the car because I got used to, like, from the pandemic, we was all at home, so I wasn't listening to the radio. I was listening to the internet, YouTube. So then when the world kind of went back to normal, or whatever the new norm is, I never went back to kind of listening to radio like that. So when I get in my car, I connect to like my internet and I listen to music through YouTube. So I don't be hearing Steve Harvey. Like, is Steve Harvey saying anything? Like, I wants to know, because y'all, he got a whole radio show. I believe he still got it. And they report on things that's going out in the news and media. Is Steve Harvey talking about this Diddy case? Because remember, his princess was a part of the team not too long ago. Not too long ago, she was a part of the stable. She was on the team. She was on the team pre-Carisha. So are we going to ignore that? Are we going to ignore that Carisha was not Carisha, but Lori was a part of the stable? Are we going to ignore that? Are we not going to talk about that? Steve, your daughter's ex-boyfriend is on trial for all these heinous, these egregious acts. And you gave the green light for her to date him. The world seen them out together, and you all breaking bread as a family in public when this man was old enough to be her daddy. And then this was coming off after she had been linked to his son, Justin Combs. Y'all, we're not going to act like that wasn't a thing. This is not what we're going to do. I don't care how much money Steve Harvey has. Your daughter was running around with this man. What was popping off when she was with him? Did she see the Tootsie Roll? Like, let's just talk about it, because she don't get a pass of being part of the team, the stable, the situation, because she's Lori Harvey. She was there. She's seen some things. What was her experience? Steve, are you covering this story on your syndicated radio station? Do y'all think they skipping over the Diddy trial as they do the current events? I don't see how you do it. Is he just not saying nothing? And we got Shirley Strawberry. Is she the only? Who's talking about the Diddy trial on the Steve Harvey morning show? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know, because what's the guy she dated? Lori dated the Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan's name got inserted in the chat also this week. So I was listening to somebody, I think it was Armand Wiggins, and he was like, well, damn, do y'all think that maybe Diddy went after Lori Harvey to get back after Michael B. Jordan for him having something with Cassie? And I said, I could see the diddler being petty like that, because when he started messing with Cassie, that was after... when he started messing with Lori, that was after him and Cassie were over. I think that was the first situation that, the person he was supposed to be running around with after Cassie left. So I'm like, I can see that. Y'all let me know. Do y'all think that Diddy purposely went after Lori because of Michael B. Jordan history, even though it was a short lived, but it was a little stint, it was a little something, his little experience with Cassie. Because what I've learned since this trial is that the reason why that didn't go anywhere is because he threatened Michael B. Jordan. So Michael B. Jordan backed off. He's like, listen, the juice ain't worth the squeeze. The juice is not worth the squeeze. So he backed off, which I don't blame him. I don't blame him if he did. Because sometimes it's just not worth it. It's not worth it. But we're not going to act like Steve Harvey's daughter wasn't a part of the situation. That's just not what we're going to do. And I have not heard anybody talking or bringing her name up. But I woke up this morning, y'all, I be popping up and it'll be a light over my head. And Steve Harvey, Lori Harvey. Y'all, this is how my brain works. And y'all, this is why I got a YouTube channel, because when these thoughts come, I can just go live. And that's really how it works. And that was just the thought that I had. So y'all let me know y'all thoughts on that. Reading Book says, Steve not gonna talk. He did Monique wrong. His show, Michael B. Jordan did date Cassidy. Brolena says, yes, he probably wanted to get back at Michael. He is so petty. Rakaya says, well, Diddy was with Lori before Michael. That could be. Kiana's Luxury Key says, didn't she mess with Diddy before Michael B. Jordan? Maybe. I'm not quite sure of I think so. Yes, now that I think about it, but I'm thinking about from Diddy's perspective. Well, yes, let me see. It might have been that order, but I don't know. It just, when Armand mentioned it, it just got me to thinking about all that. So just got to kind of look further than that to see what was the dating timeline with there. Because y'all know they say Hollywood, everybody, it's like a big old orgy. They all just be damn dipping and sliding and sharing with each other. So just food for thought on that one. Karen says, Rolana, really what's they're calling him now? It's itty bitty Diddy. Oh, Jesus, not itty bitty Diddy. Rakai says, Lori was seen with Diddy a year or so before she was publicly dating Michael. So you said Lori. Okay, so Lori was with Diddy before she started dating Michael. Okay. Why was Diddy going and dipping in with somebody who his son dated? Because didn't Justin date Lori before Diddy dated Lori? So now as we talk about these timelines, so let's go to the timeline of Diddy coming behind his son, Justin. What is that about? Because I remember when he started dating Lori, people started talking about her dating his son. And she had also had just finished dating, I think, Future as well. But y'all, it's like a big old orgy. I cannot. And what we learned in this trial, that's the thing. Cassie said that they was just doing random hookups with people on Craig's, just random people. She didn't insert any names of any celebrities. So I think that was the thing that people thought, that this trial, when it came to the freak-offs, that celebrity names and things would be mentioned. But she was like, it would be with people who was just strangers to them. It wasn't like they wasn't engaging in freak-off acts with people that they knew. So I think that was something that was unexpected for a lot of people who was watching the case. Brolena says, because they don't care. It's a free-for-all. And it's sad because what we found out in this trial with Cassie is the way she was being treated was like a free-for-all. Y'all think that man, Mr. Fine, gonna still continue to stay married to Cassie much longer? Y'all let me know, because my husband was saying, and he's a man, and he was saying right now there are a lot of memes and things going around where people are just saying things about her husband, Alex Fine. And I guess the fact of him now finding out that his wife just had several situations with several people. Like, I'm wondering what the numbers is when it comes to the body count, because she said they had hundreds of freak offs. So I wonder how many unique participants was a part of the hundreds of freak offs. Because of course, sometimes you got your regulars that you call it, hey, you free? You know, we want to do a freak off on Friday at 7. Can you meet up? So how many unique people were like participants over these several years? These are the questions that I have. How many people contributed to her having just situations going on in her mouth? Situations going on down there. Like, how many people played a part in that? This is the type of stuff that her husband had to sit through the trial and listen to. AccuCruel says, I think he already knew, but listen, how much? Do we ever really tell it all? That's the thing. Because here's the thing. Cassie knew that they were going to come and they're going to have their stuff, but there was no way where she knew exactly what they were going to be coming with. I'm pretty sure that there was a lot of details in the information that Diddy's team came at her with that you said, nope. We don't never always tell all. We know we give them a little piece. We're going to give them a little piece. But you're not going to always tell it all. That's just anybody. You just not. Because why do you have to? So I feel like she told him, like, okay, I was with a lot of people, but I need you to understand that it was forced. I didn't want to do these things. I was on drugs. This was the circumstances. But I don't believe that she set the expectation that he may come to learn that there's evidence that shows in text communications where she was initiating some of these freak-offs, where she was making the recommend, where it was her idea to say, have a freak off this weekend. I don't think she put it out there like that. I think she painted it as though, hey, yes, I participated in them, but it was because this is what he was setting up and requiring, making me participate in. Because what they were saying is that in that courtroom, when they were showing them text messages, that man was getting red. And they said where the screen was at, y'all picture a screen, and it got the text messages, and he was seated like right in front of it. So you got the screen right here with the text messages, and this him. And then as people hearing stuff and reading text messages, they all looking over at him. Wouldn't that be your natural reaction if something crazy is being said about somebody's person and that person in the room? Wouldn't you naturally be like who ain't, y'all, my goddamn ass, I ain't got no chill. I don't know how to do that on the slide. My goddamn ass would have, y'all know, some of y'all know got the ability to cross your eyes and you can be cross-eyed and see what you need to do. I ain't that talented. My goddamn ass is on this type of time. I don't know how to do nothing subtle. I'm still working on that part, y'all. I don't know how to not talk loud. I don't know how to whisper. And I don't know how to just be chill with looking at whatever I'm giving you. So that would be me. So what they said was in that courtroom, that was what people was doing every time stuff was coming out that basically was a bad look for him, given that was his wife. And it was basically evidence being shown that she was not faithful to him. And then it was evidence being shown that much of the time she was with the shits. For whatever reason that she say why she was. She'd say, well, listen, I was doing it because this is just what he wanted. Okay, you said this is why you was doing it, but Exhibit A shows this is what you were doing. Again, it's the context behind the things. It's not argued of what she participated in. It's the context behind it. And that's what she wants you to focus on. Let's focus on the context. So people, when they were seeing a lot of this evidence, they were just like, it wasn't, listen, nobody was giving a shit about the context. They were looking at what was the evidence presented to them right before them, like, my. Luxury Key says you have to consider that she hasn't a book that details all that. She has what you said. She has a book that details all this. That's what spawned all of this. She has a book. Okay. Karen said, and I heard talks of a book. I didn't know she had a book out there. I don't know. They tried to play her on the stand. They said something about one page. I don't know if they try to play her and say that her book, the one of them attorneys said your page book or something they said, because I didn't know she had a book. But like I said, I told you I learned a lot this week. Just like I learned that she sued the hotel. Did y'all know she had sued the hotel and won $10 million? The Intercontinental Hotel where the fight took place, y'all, she won $10 million. So apparently when she sued Diddy, she wanted 30. They settled for 20, but she got that other 10 from the hotel. So 20 plus 10, 30. So she like, I don't care how you slice it and dice it. I want 30. Run me my money. And that's what sis got. Karen says, I think this is going to weigh on him later about all the men that they will all the men, but they will have 3 children. So he will stay. I think he's going to be motivated to stay for for his family, but it's just going to be a matter of how long he'll be able to do it. And I'd love to hear from like men. If there's men in this chat right now, let me know your thoughts, because many women have been saying, oh, okay, I see him maybe down the line after a few years, maybe leave. But some men and some chats, on the internet are like, oh, hell no, we're talking months. He's about to be gone in a matter of months. So again, I'd love to hear what men has to say, because y'all, men and women, it's like, y'all, we just 2 completely different species. Like we move, we do things, we think different, like we're so different. And so we as women can talk all day long about how we think he'll respond and handle it, but men are different and they don't handle things the way we do. So that's why, like a lot of situations, like my husband, I'll ask him, okay, from a man perspective, how would you view this? Would this be hard or whatever? So me having a conversation with him, he was just like, yeah, I can see like it's going to be very hard. It would be very hard. Like, so he talked to me about the struggle that it would be for him, just after learning, and hearing all that he heard, because regardless of what her book or whatever she may have said, I'm pretty sure that there was still a lot of information that her husband learned that he did not know before. Because like I said, we never tell it all. We just don't. We just don't. And a lot of times we're not motivated to have to tell it all. Ain't nobody running around doing nothing they ain't got to do. We ain't giving you no damn extras. What you need to know. It's on a need to know basis. It's on a need to know basis. Amanda says, I feel she was young and thought she was in love and confused. I agree. I mean, she got with him when she was 21. Here's another thing, y'all, that I noticed with her relationships. Did you all notice that every relationship, they overlap, where she meet the new piece through the old piece? So starting from the beginning when she was with, y'all can drop his name in the chat. The first guy she was with, who was like the music producer. She had been with him for like 3 years. She met him through Diddy. And this was like right around her birthday. So when she met Diddy, Diddy offered to take her to Miami to get her flued out to Miami for her birthday. So she lied to her boyfriend and said she had something to do, I guess, centered around work, music or whatever. But she was really with Diddy, spending her birthday with him in Miami. And that's when she said Diddy first kissed her on the mouth. From there, her and a Diddy just became official and became a thing. And she just left the other guy alone. So that was at 21. So then the next situation was, remember Kid Cudi? Remember that rapper? She started messing around with him. She says she started messing around with him after her and Diddy broke up, because they was always on and off. They were like, well, how did you meet Kid Cudi? Well, I met him through Diddy at the music studio. Say it ain't so. I met him through Diddy at the music studio. Oh, really? So she started messing with him. So then while she was messing with him, she ran back to Diddy to do another freak off. So she wasn't done with him, because remember, she was always off and on. So she messing around with Kid Cudi. She run back to Diddy to engage in another freak off. In that experience, that's when Diddy ended up seeing through her phone her conversations with Kid Cudi and learned that they had a thing. So now we got past that. Diddy allegedly blew up the car and everything. So we done got past that. Cudi like, the hell with this. He gone. He out the picture. He did what a Michael B. Jordan did, said this ish ain't worth it. I don't know where Michael B. Jordan got plugged in and how she met him, because remember, everybody else is like she meet through her person. So after her and Kid Cudi situation was over, Alex Fine, the Fine fitness instructor, Diddy's personal trainer, comes into play. He was Diddy's trainer. Diddy then says and grants him the permission to become Cassie's trainer. Why? I don't damn know. Diddy, you know goddamn well that man looked better than you. What were you thinking to think that it was going to be? Oh, listen. I don't know if he thought that, well, maybe if I give him access to my woman, that he would then be okay with participating in a freak off and we can all do something together. And he wanted Cassie to be the plug, because that ish makes no sense. Ain't no way. Most of the time, you ain't trying to sign up for somebody to come work with your partner who goddamn look better than you. What are they doing that at? What they doing that at? That's just not what you do. That's like you letting some goddamn fine young ass 22-year-old come into your house with you and your husband and your 3 kids to be the damn nanny. Some shit you just don't do. That's just, we call that common sense. We just call it common sense. You just don't goddamn do it. You gonna get you a fat, overweight, whatever it is, she gonna be fat and goddamn overweight and probably old as shit. That's just what you gonna do. Diddy allowed this man to train his woman. He was training her and working her out all right. Next thing you know, now she messing around and sleeping with Mr. Fine. Mr. Fine. That's what she doing next. Diddy on some time like, well, shit, y'all need to run me my money back. Once he learned that they was messing around, he like, fuck that. I need my money back. Listen, I've been paying you and you been effing my girl. I'm gonna need for y'all somebody to give me something on something. I need somebody to give me something on. I need somebody to give me something on something. Ain't no damn way I was paying you a salary to be working it out literally with my damn woman. Somebody need to run me something. So, y'all, you see what I'm saying? Like, Cassie be on some type of stuff where I ain't finna be going to no park, going online, meet me somebody. I'm finna meet me somebody through my somebody. I'm finna meet me somebody through my somebody, because all her somebodies, you know, it was not her having to go out and just meet somebody on her own. Her new somebodies came through the old somebody. That's just how she was rolling. That's just, TD said it's so low. That's how she was rolling, like all her situations. I don't know how she explains it, but I noticed that that's just what she was doing. And the Diddy's team, like when she was on the stand, this is what they were pointing out. Basically, they was trying to allude to low key say, basically, you out here hoeing, you on the damn stroll, you a hoe. Because the first guy who she was with when Diddy hooked up with her, she had his name tattooed on her. And she was like, well, I mean, that situation, it really wasn't that serious. It was like, shit, it was serious enough. You got his name tattooed on you. You got his name tattooed on you. So, I mean, it was serious enough. So I think that when Cassie did agree and got with Diddy early on, Diddy sold her on a dream. She was young. He was basically on some type of time of, I'm going to make you a superstar. Because y'all, did y'all know he had her signed to a deal where she was committed to having to do 10 albums. Now, she only did one. But she was signed to his label, and that contract said that she owed them 10. 10. She's only done one. So I think that he got her on this pipe dream on some, I'm going to make you a star type thing. So it was just music to her ears. So she's like, bet, I'm about to goddamn be the Beyonce before Beyonce was Beyonce out here. Like, he really sold her on it. But y'all, really low key, I don't really think that he really found her to be her talent to even be on 10 like that. Y'all remember that infamous 106 in Park performance she did? Y'all remember that? I think that he found her to be attractive, and he didn't feel like she had the star power like that to really be just this powerhouse, like singer, artist like that. But he wasn't finna tell her that. He was just going to continue to string her along to have her to believe that one day, yes, TD, y'all. And the thing about it in the this week, it came out that she was about to go on tour with the fuck what? She had one song, just me and you. Like, what do you mean she was about to go on tour? Who the fuck was she about to go on tour with? Ray J? Who? It was going to be what? Cassie Ventura and Ray J? Who was she going on tour with? Who? She had one album. TV said, with what? That's what I'm talking about. Listen, y'all, y'all better get into this trial. When I say I ain't done nan political video in some days because I've been over. They probably looking at me like, "She, what the fuck going on with these tariffs and your president?" Listen, I've been at the Diddy trial. I've been at the Diddy trial. Listen, I got to goddamn focus. I've been focused at the Diddy trial. When they said her fucking ass was about to go on tour, with what? Y'all, in 2023, Cassie and Mr. Fine, her husband, moved into the house with her mama. And they, at that time, they had just the two kids. Cassie and her husband, Alex Fine, moved to Connecticut in the house with her mama, her parents. Yes. At that time, Cassie was saying that she was preparing and she was about to go on tour. You wasn't even going on tour when your song was even in rotation. It's been 20 years. What are we doing? What do you mean you going on tour? Y'all, it's giving that her and Alex were struggling financially. Y'all, so follow me. This is all pre the lawsuit. So I'm setting it up because this is what they did. She moved into the house with her parents. She took her man and her kids. Y'all know we don't do that shit unless we have to. That's some type of shit that you do when your money looking funny. Your money ain't right. Normally, mama and daddy, whoever coming into your house with your family, you're not picking your family up and going into their house. You do that when you got you a little situation going on. And a lot of times that's when the money ain't right. The money is funny. The money is funny. They were like, well, why did you move into the house with your parents? Well, we just wanted to get away. We wanted to get out of LA. Y'all, I done told y'all he was just a goddamn personal trainer when she started effing with him. I know you got some personal trainers out there that's getting to it. But that don't mean Alex Fine, just because he looked fine, that he was getting to the money like that. That don't mean that. That don't mean that. So she was just like, well, so yeah, we just wanted to leave California. So we went to Connecticut with my parents' house. So yeah, since we were just going to be transitioning that way, we we just went into their house. Cruz said, money's so funny, it was telling jokes. Right, money is funny. Them people knew the money was funny because they knew Alex Fine was just a personal trainer. So they were like, okay, so you are also going to be going on tour around that time? Well, yes, I was planning to go on tour. Bitch, with what? With what? What do you mean? This is what the white woman wanted to say. One of them attorneys called Diddy's was it Diddy team? No, Diddy's attorney called the state a pack of 6 white women or some shit that he said. He's like a pack of white women. But anyway, I know this lady, her translation was like, bitch, with what? What do you mean? What do you mean? Again, the money is funny. You in the house with your mama, with your man and your 2 kids, or how many she had at that time, because all her kids, they little. She had them back to back. So you in the house with your man and your kids, and you talking about going on tour. You only had one hit song. What do you mean? You've been out the game for what, nearly 20 years? What do you mean you were about to go on tour? So that was that, y'all. Next thing you know, that same year, she files the lawsuit. Within 24 hours, she settles. It came out this week, the settlement, it was for $20 million. Guess who decided to not go on tour? Yeah, she didn't go on tour. So they was like, yo, why didn't you go on tour? Well, yeah, after everything came out and my name was trending, it was just so much going on. It was just too much. I just wanted to be home with my family. Bitch, you didn't have no need to go on tour. I wouldn't have taken my ass out. People, y'all, listen. People go on tour out of necessity because these artists, that's where they make their money. The bulk of the money, like a lot of their money, it comes from touring. You got to go on tour. She knew, y'all know she knew she was down hard when she knew that she only had one song and she was about to take her ass on tour. Where they do that at? That's why I'm like, who the fuck is the lineup? We got Ray J. What was Ray J one song? So we gonna have the tour with the one hit wonders. What was Ray J's? We got Ray J's. We got Ray J and his little one. We got Cassie. Can we get a third person? Who the F else can we get on this tour that had one hit? I don't know if they was gonna let these tickets go for $20 on Groupon. I don't freaking know. I don't know. But she said, well, yeah, I decided to not go. This what they wanted to say is, hell yeah, you wasn't going. You just cleaned up and made, we just learned a collective $30 million. So I bet you did say, nah, I'm good. Who wouldn't? People ain't going out there like that just for Y'all think Beyonce out there working like that? Cause like people they still be having responsibilities they be having these, what do you call these, the commitments, these responsibilities and things like that they still got to, that they still got to do. They got to deal with. There's still background stuff that these people got to do, which has them still in the forefront, even when we be like, damn, why they still out here? Because they got these contracts. So Kathy was about to be out there because, listen, she's like, shit, we at my mama house. We need to get our own place. We got these kids. Alex, you fine and all, but it ain't paying no bills. Like, looks can only get you so far. Looks can only get you so far. They was hungry. It was just a whole situation. So Kathy is like, listen, I got to go out there. I got to work. Y'all, we ain't seen Kathy sing no lullabies or nothing over the years. Y'all know how sometimes singers, they give you a little piece, a little taste, and they'll put it on their little social medias, and they singing a little song, doing a little, we ain't seen nothing centered around vocals for Cassie Ventura. Like, when's the last time we heard her voice? When's the last time we ain't even heard her talk until just now. Like, and you finna go out and try to hit a note? You finna go out here and hit a note on a tour? I bet the hell she did sit ass down when she got that money. You think they talked about her bad from that 106 in Park? They really would have drug her if she would have went out there calling herself being on a tour. They would have drug her around the globe, across the globe. Oh, they would have drugged the hell out of her if she would have taken her ass out there. So maybe it was God looking out for her, giving her them two checks, the $20 million check and the $10 million check. Because ain't no way that was going to end well for that young lady. If she already was already struggling with her mental health, that just would not have helped. That would not have helped. That would not have helped. But y'all, she said she was on her way out there to tour. I wish that attorney would have said with what. I mean, I don't know. You asked Don Richard what kind of skillet Diddy hit her with. Like, listen, they asked Don Richard, well, what you said you seen Diddy and he beating on her with a skillet. Well, what kind of skillet was it? Y'all, that attorney wanted to know what kind of skillet. I wish she would have asked Cassie what we touring with. The people want to know. The people want to know. What exactly, Miss Ventura, were you going to tour with? I'm just saying. Karen says they wouldn't have sold any tickets. Listen, asking all them questions. Y'all know how sometimes we feel like y'all ain't asking the right questions. Y'all not asking the right questions. This was an example when that question should have posed. Well, Ms. Ventura, the state of New York would like to know exactly what music were you planning to tour with? But they didn't ask her that. They did not ask her that. But they did ask her, did she have any more judgments and court settlements and all that? She tried to say no. They were like, wait a minute, you didn't just settle with Intercontinental Hotel? Well, yeah, but basically the money ain't hit my account yet. But they were like, but just last week you settled though for how much? 10 million. It's 10 million. 10 million, yes. So Cassie got 10 plus 20, which equals 30. So she ain't hungry. So no, I don't think Alex Fine is going anywhere anytime soon. But I'm going to say that if he were to leave, prior to that, he will be consulting with an attorney to see what type of rights or access does he have to that money, because that money came about during the marriage. Now, realtor Kiana, my sister, she's a realtor. I don't know if she's still in this chat. I want to know, when you are married, and if anybody know, and let's just say you're married and one of the people in the relationship, so the wife, Cassie, got money from a lawsuit or whatever, does the spouse, like say they were to part ways, does the spouse, is he entitled to half if they were to divorce? Is he entitled, is the husband entitled to half of the wife's money from a settlement, a lawsuit, if they were to divorce? That is the question. That is the question. So I just feel like Alex would only be really trying to leave if he could leave with a coin. Because word on the curb is that he was the one that kind of pushed her and encouraged her to file the suit. Because remember, listen, he wasn't booking them appointments like that. It wasn't enough people signing up to do jumping jacks, push-ups, and sit-ups with him. They was at her mama house in Connecticut. Her daddy is a retired firefighter, and her mama is like retired from like doing like paralegal type work. So Cassie comes from like humble beginnings. Like she lived a regular, normal life. It was nothing on the level, on the lifestyle like that Diddy provided her, which is why she was just so like, did not want to kind of be removed from that lifestyle, because it was just definitely different from what she came from. And once she got a little piece, a little taste of that lifestyle, it was just like, yo, like this is where I want to be, until it came to a point where she no longer wanted to be there because all that came along with it. And that's when she was like, fine, Alex, fine. He ain't got no money. Basically, he was broke, basically. I mean, but he loved her. He was into her. He was willing to have her to be the one and only. And that was something that Diddy was not willing to do. He wasn't willing to do that. That's what she wanted. And it came out in the testimony where he was like, well, don't I take care of you? I do whatever. She said, yes, you do all of those things. That like, that's not what I need. What I need is for you to love me, for you to treat me nice, for you to respect me, for me to be the one and only. Like, I want your love. Like, yes, you giving all of that, but I want you. I want more than that. I think in the beginning, it was just like, oh my God, he got all these things. But then it came to a point to where that ish didn't make no difference to her, because she wanted something that he wasn't willing to give. T.D. says, yes, he offered marriage and kids. He wanted that. Alex Fine was willing to give her what Diddy wasn't willing to give her. Diddy was willing to give her the riches and the fame, you know, just the fame that comes from her just being by his side, not from her works. But Alex Fine was willing to make her be his wife, his one and only. She wanted to be Diddy's one and only, but he didn't find value in her enough to have her to be the one and the only. You see what I'm saying? A lot of times we want things, especially as women, we want what don't want us. You ever hear somebody say, love who love you, want who wants you? Because a lot of times what we want is not what we need. What we want is not what we need. And what we want don't want us. But you got somebody else over here who like really wanting you, like, yeah, that's what I need, but I just don't want that. And guys too, where it'll be a woman out there, yeah, I know I need Brenda, but Keisha is what I want. But Brenda, I know, Brenda gonna make, she ride for me, she got my back, she do this, but Keisha be just the pop locking it. Listen, Keisha be on some other type of tough stuff that I know Brenda ain't really on. And that's what happened. Cassie was trying, she put all her energy into somebody who didn't want her, until one day she stopped doing that and finally started to pay attention to the person who wanted her. And that's the story of many people's lives. But here's the thing with most women, I think, is that we spend so much time chasing after or wanting what don't want us. And by the time we get to that point in our life when we're like, you know what? Who wants me? Who's going to love me? And when we get to that point, a lot of times we don't really see that person there anymore, because that person then moved on. They done got rejected so much to where they've moved on to somebody who wants them back. So now we left out here pissing in the wind. We ain't got nobody, because we spent all this time chasing after what didn't want us. A lot of times in our younger years when we was fine as wine. And then when we get older in life and we like, you know what? I just need me a good man. I just need this. I just need that. And you like, well, damn, where he at? A long time ago, I had them lined up. They was lined up. I don't see him no more. I don't see him no more. So now you got a lot of people just waiting and just be like, well, shit, I just need somebody to come along. But now it's just the well done ran dry. It ain't nobody. It ain't nobody. So Cassie cashed out when she had this 25-year-old, then 25-year-old, Alex Fine, showing interest in her. You all, she's like 7 years older than her husband. This week, as I was listening to the story, and I'm trying to figure out what man is going to sign up to wife and marry her after coming off of the situation with Diddy. Like, even though he may have not knew the detail, but I feel like a mature man, a man in his 30s, like a mature man would have already kind of had a basic understanding of like Diddy's lifestyle and maybe like what type of things that maybe was taking place in his world to not want to probably become serious with somebody coming with somebody serious that was with him. I'm just saying, I just think your average man, mature man at that time in his 30s would have thought like that, because I think men do take into an account the type of men that the woman previously dated before them. They should, but I think they do. As a woman should take into an account the type of women that that man was dating. So when I looked further into the age difference, because I wanted to understand more about Alex, y'all need to understand, I'm chic. Mental health is my background, so I go deep. I said, let me see how old this man is. You all, when I looked up his age, he just turned 32 in March. I said, so when I went backwards, y'all, he was 25 years old when he got with her. He was fucking smitten, infatuated with her. She was 32. So the way I wrap my mind around it is that he was this young guy infatuated with this older woman that was attractive. He was in a place that she once was when it came to Diddy. She was the one that was mature and more experienced and that could run circles around him. Think about it. He was 25. Y'all know men are already psychologically younger than us, especially at those ages. So y'all, if he was 25, oh yeah, all day he probably was given 22. Naive, right? Ain't no fucking way. Do you think that a 32-year-old man would have, within 1 year of meeting Cassie, would have wiped her up and married her? Think about it. I said, ain't nobody talking about this shit. This shit makes sense. She had him in a mental chokehold. By this point, Cassie had experienced hundreds of freak-offs. She was running circles around his young ass. She was more advanced than he was. She seen that. Remember, when he came to learn that she cheated on him, guess what he did? He still stayed with her and what? Put another baby in her? I don't know if he learned about the cheating before or after the first child, but goddamn it, they on number 3. So he's learned some ish and he's still there. He's still there acting as though he has the prize. He has the prize. Ain't no effing way a man who was mature at that time would have signed up for that, because he would have knew better. But he was only 25. So as a 25-year-old, he's thinking like, oh, I'm the man. I got Diddy's girlfriend. She fine. Look what I got. Think, young men, think about how your mind was at 25. Ladies, just think about where your mind was at 25. It was in a different place than at 32. He didn't know. He was young. He was smitten and he was infatuated. But he a man now. So he's 32 now. So he's thinking differently than what he was thinking at 25. You have to factor this in. You have to. And that's where my mind went for it to make sense. So as people out here talking about, oh, people just jealous because she got a husband and she got kids. But they not getting into the fact of this is a much younger man than her. So his mind is in a different place. It's not at the place of that maturity. He's getting there because now he's 32. So he a man now. But when they got together, Alex, when they got together, he was only 25. He was a baby. She was 32. You all think about what type of woman she was at 32 and all that she had experienced. She basically had fucking lived a life of like a goddamn 42-year-old or 50-year-old with all the experience she had under her belt at 32. So now she's with a baby, a 25-year-old. So the way I conceptualize it is it the same thing that Diddy had on her? That's what she had on him. Don't they say it's like a cycle? The teacher, if the pupil outdoes the teacher, it's a cycle. So she was able to do to him and have him in that mental chokehold as he was able to have on her. You see how it goes? Because she's the older person in the situation. She's the older person. That's how my mind is interpreting all of this plays out, because otherwise it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But he's grown now. He's not a little boy anymore. He's a man now. So will he start thinking and moving more like that man? That man now, he's 32. Now that he knows what he knows. He's not a baby anymore. Amanda said children also change your mindset. You're right. A lot of times, with children, when you're in relationships, you start thinking from a place of, it's not about me. It's about these kids. It's about the family. So I agree. That's why I think he's going to try really, really hard. But sometimes you try so hard to make something work that just isn't working. People do it all the time. People will do it all the time. And I have no doubt that this man is going to try. But my money is on it not working, because it's so much trauma that has happened. And it's so much information that he knows from going into the trial, coming out of the trial, that he has to process. And just looking at things from his perspective, I can understand how mentally it can impact him, where it can keep him up at night, where you ever see some instance, some of you may have experienced where you're in a room with somebody and the energy is off, or you come to learn something about someone, or they come to learn something about you. And even though there's no words being said, the vibe, you feel it, the tension, the energy, it's just different. The person don't look at you the same. You don't look at them the same. They not touching you the same. You not touching them the same, because now things have changed. And just because you're not speaking on something, it don't mean a thing isn't a thing. Just because you're not talking and you're not using your words. So sometimes, a lot of times, we'll just go through the motions and we're not using our words. But don't make a thing ain't a thing. The tension is so thick to where everybody feel it. And finally, somebody just break and just want to talk into it. And then it ends up with a person says, I can't do this no more. I've been trying. I've really been trying, but I can't do it no more. I love you. Y'all, when I walked away from this trial, Cassie still loves this man. How many of you understand this? Cassie loves a man that don't love her. The heart wants what the heart wants. How many of you have ever wanted or desired something or someone and you just hated the fact that you did? But it's just like, fuck, I just wish this feeling, this drive, this pull, I wish it would go away. They're not good for me, but I still care. And I feel like in this trial, this is what her husband came to learn, that even through everything, one of the last comments she made while she was on the stand was, I still don't hate him. You all, what is the opposite of hate? She didn't say, I still love him. She said, I still do not hate him. What this said to me is, this is a woman, she still loves him. That's still, for her true first love. But this man don't love her. She know he don't deserve her, but that's what her heart wants. And y'all think her husband don't know that and he don't feel that? Y'all think that he don't feel that, where in their relationship he hasn't felt like she hasn't fully given herself? You know when somebody ain't really, when they holding back. Y'all don't play crazy. I'm 44 years old. Don't play crazy. You know when you in a situation with somebody and you feel like they holding back. Like you're like, it's just like she or he, they just holding back. They're holding back. Like just something's there. Even though they say they're not, you feel that ish. Y'all can't tell me this man ain't felt that over the years. And to me, with this situation in this court, it was a lot of enlightening moments for him where he said, this is why I've been feeling what I'm feeling. My wife still loves him. And he has to come to grips with that. Because guess what? There's nothing he can do about that. Because the heart wants what the heart wants. This don't have nothing to do with this. See, this right here has her over with Alex fine. It's this. But this is what had her still over the years still talking with Diddy through text. This is what had her with him for 11 years, however many years they were. It was this. But we get to a point to where we got to start using this. And eventually, by God's grace, this will start to connect to this. And I feel like she loves Alex, but I feel like she loves Alex because of the way he loves her. Let me repeat that. She loves Alex because of how he loves her. She loves Alex because how he loves her, how he cares for her, how he prioritizes her and the kids, how he's opposite of Diddy, how he touches. She loves him for those things. But her heart is with Diddy because she feel like they truly get each other. They understand each other. And they both just are sick people. They got struggles and things they struggle with. But she truly believes that he's her soulmate. That's why she got in her feelings when he said that Kim Porter was his soulmate. That came out during the testimony. Y'all remember when Kim Porter passed and Diddy, he did the service. And after that, he posted and he said that Kim Porter, he lost his soulmate. She reached out to him afterward. Why did you say that? Why did you say she was your soulmate? Did that mean that what we had for the 10, the 11 years, however many years we were together, does that mean it didn't mean nothing? That's because she viewed him as her soulmate. He didn't feel the same. You said she wanted to be number one. Alex Fine makes her, she's his number one. She's his number one, but guess what? He's not hers. She's his number one, but he's not hers. Diddy is hers. Y'all know what the meaning of when you're physically with somebody, but you're mentally checked out? How many of you all have ever been in a relationship where my mom was the first person to ever say that, where you're physically there, but you're mentally checked out? Where you be like, we've been together, for 10 years, but mentally, I've been checked out for the last 2. Where your body is there, but you're no longer connected to that person. You've left because it's the relationship isn't giving what it used to give, what it needs to give. But physically, you're still there. The shell of you is there, but your spirit, your essence, you're somewhere else. You're even maybe even with somebody else. Because the one thing I say about with the heart wants what the heart wants. When the heart wants what the heart wants, you can physically be on the opposite side of the world from the person who you truly want to be with. I'll use the example of I'm in Georgia and say the person who I wanted was in Africa. Even though I'm in Georgia and the person I want is just say in Nigeria. Yes, I'm in Georgia. I'm with somebody else. But the person I want is in Africa. That's where I'm connected. So you can move me to California, but that's not going to make no difference and change the game to make me that much more connected to you, because this person over in Africa, Nigeria, whatever, that's who I want. That's who I'm connected to. So physically, I can be anywhere. I can be anywhere. The brain is so powerful. That's why for women, they say it's mental. When it comes to orgasm, sex, it's mental. You have to mentally stimulate us. We're mentally stimulated. That's why we can close our eyes and physically be with somebody, but mentally, we can goddamn be in Ethiopia, be some goddamn where else with somebody else, And it's going to be the best experience for that person who physically there with you. Because mentally, we are taken somewhere else. Somewhere else, but that person physically is reaping the benefits. Come on, somebody. Y'all better act like the fuck you know what I'm talking about. We're mental. Alex has the shell of her. Diddy has the essence of her. Rakaya, she stayed way too long. And that's the thing. The longer we stay in things, the harder it becomes to break away. This is a woman who's going to have to spend a lifetime in therapy. Lifetime. The harder we stay, the harder it is to break away. The stronger, the thicker those ties. Amanda say, stay-at-home mother with husband that works over the road. You are 100% right about the mental part. It's mental. Men, you got to understand, you have to mentally stimulate us. We have to be stimulated mentally because we will check the F out if we not. That ain't what you want. The last thing you want to do is have your woman mentally check out, because when she mentally gone, she's gone. She is gone. And it's very unlikely you're going to get her back. It's going to be very hard if you do, but you do not want that woman to mentally check the F out. It's not, make sure that stimulation is there. It's so hard because we're moved. So that's the thing with Cassie. She's just a shell with her husband. And I truly believe he works very hard to try to make her happy, to be whatever. And they got these kids. And a lot of times people feel like bringing kids into a situation is going to make things better. It's going to make you bond more and this, that, and the third. But that ain't how it works. And most of the time people come to see, no, that really probably made it worse. Because now you got the stresses of just parenting thrown in the situation. Finances. Remember, they went to her parents' house. Y'all, you can't make me believe that they didn't go to her mom and them house because they was in a financial situation. Then all of a sudden there's a lawsuit. Why now there's a lawsuit? They got into a situation, they needed money. We got to start thinking out the box. All right, how can we get money? Damn, what you say that man did to you? Shit, can we get a lawsuit going? We need to do something. We need some money. We got these kids coming. Come on, what we doing? What we doing? What we doing? We can't stay here at your parents' house forever. What we doing? Makes sense to me. TD say, and she a scorn woman. Amanda says, did you see Piers Morgan's interview with Diddy bodyguard? Nope. TD said, yep, he wants the money too. So I heard that the husband was behind the push for the lawsuit. That's what I heard. Makes sense to me. Because remember, I told y'all, he a man now. He not a boy. He's a man now. He's thinking like a man. He's like, okay, this ish has gotten real. I got Diddy girl, but what does that mean? When he was 25, it was just, oh, I got Diddy girl, you know, look how beautiful she is, okay? He was a kid. Now he like a grown-ass man. He got kids, like, okay, I got her, but shit, I got to take care. We got these kids, like, what we doing? Like, what we doing? What we doing? Okay, we need some money around here. These kids, money don't grow on trees. You know, Cassie, you ain't doing nothing. You ain't going around singing that one song you got. Like, what we doing? Can you try to go out there and get on the stage in a couple of cities and sing your one song? Like, we need something. We need money coming in. We got these kids coming. We need something. We need something. So everybody in the room thinking, all right, what ideas we got? All right, then, Cassie, you go ahead. You go on tour. Damn, you said Diddy did this to you? Man, damn, maybe we can sue. Maybe we can get some for that. I don't know, but we need to look into a lawyer on Monday and see what we can do with that, because, yeah, it sounds like we might have some there because, damn, yeah, you say he had argued too, right? Yeah, damn, we should be able to get some money. We about to call, who we calling? Mama-in-law, who you said we should? All right, then we about to call him on Monday and see what we can do, because we need to get something moving. We need to get something moving. We got these bills coming up. I mean, your mama and your daddy, they cool and all, but listen, I mean, I've been out on my own since I was 18. So I don't want to live with my mama or your mama. I mean, she cook all right, but listen, I mean, I don't want to be here, Cassie. So we got to figure out something. So yeah, I'm gonna need for you to talk to that lawyer. You tell him he can get his money on the back end. He probably made about a cool 8 million or so, 8+ million on that deal. But they had to do what they had to do. Makes sense to me. Desperate times calls for desperate measures. But here's the thing, I'm not mad either, because I definitely feel like he used and abused this young woman. She wasn't a girl forever, but in the beginning, she was a young girl. She didn't know better. But eventually, she did come to know better. But at that time, she experienced so much trauma to where this is where we're at today, you know, the trauma of it all. So I definitely feel like he has to deal with that. He is responsible for that. But she also has her role that she has to play with staying so long, because she wasn't 21 forever. So that's something she has to work through. That's the responsibility. She has her part. You know, how she has to take responsibility for her decisions as well. That is something she has to live with. I'm sure she lives with that every day. You know, as she questions herself, you know, why did I stay so long? Why? I mean, I'm sure every day she questions that. They asked her on the stage, would she ever what would have her to be willing to give the money back or give it up? She said, well, if I could experience where I didn't have the freak offs and just really just lived the life I want, and just to be an artist and be basically, she'd be willing to give it all back. And I believe her. I believe Cassie would give it all back if she could have just gone back to, say, being 21. Because when she got with Diddy, she had a music deal already. It was with that whoever, the other member, she was already with some other guy. Then she ended up signing with Diddy. So I think, you know, she wished that she just would have continued to stay on that track with where she was at before getting caught up with Diddy and just became a singer, whatever. But I feel like, yeah, she would give that money back to just kind of go back to that place. It makes sense to me. It makes sense to me, because think about like what are you willing to give up or to pay to go back in time to erase something that you experienced? Like, really think about it. I think we all have something to where we did, maybe somebody we hurt, to where if you can go back and you would just give up something and just go back to this place and just undo that and not do that, you'd be like, I'll give up this. I'll just go back there, fix that, and just bring it forward and do whatever. I think, you know, we all have those moments, but there's no do-overs. There's no takebacks. AccuCrew said brainwashed. Yes, she was brainwashed. So right now, they say also that year that she filed the lawsuit, she was in intensive therapy where they were connecting things to her brain and all that. Like, she was really going through it. And I think also while she was in therapy, memories, and she was encountering just events and things that took place in that toxic relationship. And as she got to thinking about it, and probably when she'd go home and talk with her husband about how her therapy session went, that's when, the idea came up. It's centered around with the lawsuit, because the husband's thinking like, wow, like this issue is just really deep. And I think the longer their relationship kind of progressed, the more he got to see how damaged his wife was, the mother of his children was. So with that, I think it kind of angered him, but also it made him say, we got to get him to pay. We finna get some money out of this. We about to get some money out of this, because him effing you over now, that and me being with you, I'm living through the trauma that you're enduring as a result of all that you went through while you were in that relationship. So I'm now in the present dealing with all this ish. I ain't have nothing to do with that, but I'm with you, and I'm having to navigate through all of this that you're giving because of what he did. All that MF got to pay. He got to pay. He got to pay, because my world is shook over here, and I love you, and I don't want to go nowhere, but he got to pay, because this shit is he got to pay. He got to pay. Berlana says, right, we all have moments that if we could avoid, it doesn't have a price. Karen says, I think it was all okay for years until it wasn't anymore and she couldn't get out. Exactly, I agree. And AJ Cruz says, and maybe Stockholm Syndrome. All of that, y'all. All of that. That's why it's a such thing as staying too late, staying too long, and it's harder to get out. And y'all know they say with domestic situations, the most dangerous time for a person, particularly a woman, is when she leaves. The most dangerous time for a person in a domestic situation is when they leave, because that is a lot of times when their life is taken, when they leave. Remain confident says she came back because she loved freak offs. She's not a victim. She's not a victim. You said play the survivor. Berlana says 7 attempts is what they say. It takes 7 attempts to leave to succeed. I wonder how many times did she leave? Because she said she leave and they get back together. Because they were like, so you leave and you'd come back? She's like, no, I wouldn't say that. I'd say I'd leave and we'd get back together. Leave, get back together, come back. It's the same thing. Basically, you back in the same situation. I just think, yes, Stockholm Syndrome. I think also it was a combination of just her being addicted to the toxicity. I think it also centered around financial resources, the lifestyle, everything. I think it's a multitude of things. Yep, AJ Cruz said it's the same difference. It's a multiple. It's multiple things. Like I say, 2 things can be true at the same time. There's so many reasons. Trauma bonding, all of that, y'all. All of that. All of that. All of that. But she got to live with it. And right now, there's not enough money in the world that can heal her from that. There's no pill that she can take that can make that go away. She just got off of drugs. What? I think they said in 2023, is she just got off of drugs? Like there's nothing she can do about it. There's no more amount of money that can take away the trauma, the memories, the pain of it all. Amanda says, is Cassie up on charges now? Not that I know of. A lot of people were wondering if she can be charged as like a conspirator to like the RICO stuff, because in the text it showed that she was like helping to set things up and all of that. But in this particular trial, there's no charges because she's there as a witness. And they also said that she volunteered. Like she wasn't subpoenaed or anything, you all. She raised her hand to basically say, I'll get on the stand and testify. Berlana says, how does she have 2 successful pregnancies when she just got off the opioids and benzos in 23? Asking all them questions. Remain confident says she's not traumatized if she's a willing participant. Amanda said, did she able to claim the 5th on this point? I don't know. Like, I didn't hear while she was on the stand them kind of coming at her from that angle from the RICO with trying to imply that she was like a accessory or anything like that. I didn't hear them kind of take the testimony in that direction, but just people just talking about it. I've heard a lot of people kind of throw that out there wondering if she could be charged, because based off of the text messages, like she was with the shits. Like now she would give her reasoning behind it. Was like, oh, well, I was just doing what I knew he wanted me to do. So she was saying, yes, that was me, but I need for y'all to understand the context behind it. I was just saying those things that I knew he wanted to. So they were like, okay, so in order to be in a relationship with Diddy, you had to do these things. She said, well, that's what I came to learn. So she's saying early on in the relationship, getting with him, she didn't know that that was the type of time she needed to be on. But during the relationship, she came to learn that that was the type of time she needed to be on. So, okay, so I'll have to check it out. Looks like my sister, she was in the chat and she sent me this TikTok, I guess, about Steve Harvey. Because remember, I posed the question, what is Steve Harvey saying? When I get off this live, I'll have to watch it and see what, and y'all can see, if I don't know if you all know, but my question was, what is Steve Harvey saying right now? Because remember, his daughter, Lori Harvey, dated Diddy. Did Lori Harvey experience any of these things? Did she participate with any freak offs? I got to wondering, y'all, about J-Lo too, because J-Lo dated him as well. So was J-Lo exempt from the freak offs? Was J-Lo, did he treat her differently? Was J-Lo on some type of time where it's like, J-Lo, like, I don't do that. Like, you got me effed up. If you, did he like come at J-Lo in a different type of way to where, he didn't treat her, he didn't abuse her like he did Cassie? I don't know. Something about J-Lo don't give that she would be here for somebody putting hands and feet on her. I don't know. It's just a spirit. Some just tell me that J-Lo don't play them kind of games. If anybody gonna be swanging, it's gonna be her. That's the kind of energy that I pick up from J-Lo. But do you all think that J-Lo endured any type of abuse or anything from Diddy? Bromlena says J-Lo was on the same grandiose narcissist time, in my opinion. J-Lo probably didn't sign up for the drugs and freak-ons. That's what I was just wondering. So I got to thinking about J-Lo and Lori. Like, was Cassie in the box to get basically the side chick treatment? Because remember, what came out in the testimony is Cassie, in her mind, y'all, she was number one and Kim Porter was number two. And y'all remember the Asian chick, Gina. Gina was the side chick over there. It was nothing about the Diddy situation that was given that Cassie was number one, other than you see them out on the red carpet. But the way he treated her, she was like, she got no holidays. She was in her feelings about not getting Thanksgiving and Christmas and him not ever bringing his children, bringing her around his children. To me, that's side chick treatment. He was treating her like the fun girl, the side chick. But though she was saying in her mind, she was the main chick. She said on New Year's Day he'd be with her, but not the holidays, like those major holidays where you're with the family. He was like, she said she never got those, y'all. And what, the 10, 11 years they were together, she never got the holidays. But in her mind, she was number one. Kim Porter was number two. And then Gina was the side chick on the side that she couldn't stand. But she did acknowledge on the stand, she said that she was jealous of Kim Porter, because they asked her, were you jealous of Kim Porter? And she said yes. She learned about Gina because while her and Diddy were kind of on a little break and then she was out of the country somewhere filming a movie, a friend of hers or somebody sent her a picture or something that Gina had posted being petty with her and Diddy together. And that's how she learned that he was actually messing with Gina when he had been saying he wasn't. And I think coming off of that, that's when she said she officially had ended things and just went to Alex Fine. That's that's her story, y'all. But of course, remember, she circled back even after the alleged rape. She circled back around and consensually had sex with him. And the defense was trying to understand, well, how you do that? How do you go back and have consensual sex with a person who you said sexually assaulted you? She said, well, I loved him and I just wanted to. So that was different for everybody. Y'all let me know in these comments, like, what you think about that. But she was like, yes, he essayed me. But yes, I did have consensual sex with him. I'm not quite sure how soon after that she had the consensual sex with him. But it doesn't seem like it was too long after that. But she did. And then since then, also, there was like nice text messages and things that he was sending. They would send to each other about, oh, I miss you and things like that. And yeah, so I definitely feel like those text messages, that was new information for Alex. I bet you he didn't know that in the last couple of years, as recent as 23, that Cassie and Diddy were having text messages with one another. I bet you he didn't know that. You cannot make me believe that man knew that Cassie was talking to Diddy through text messaging in recent years in 23. What reason would she have had to talk with him? They didn't have any children together. Remember, they broke up. The last time she had seen him or whatever was what I think supposed to have been, I guess, with Kim Porter's funeral, whatever. That was 23. The last time she should have seen him should have been at the Kim Porter memorial, whatever. So I'm pretty sure her husband was not aware that they were still talking to each other after her going to that. And I'm wondering, how does she justify to her husband her even going to the funeral? How do you justify that? What do you say to your husband to say, yes, my ex baby mom died and I want to go to her service? I mean, I guess it'll be easier to say. I mean, it's just like, I knew her because we were together a lot because of Diddy, and I want to go and show my respects. I don't know. But she was in the house. She went to the service. She was there. So I guess I'm pretty sure he was like, all right, fine, go do whatever. But I'm pretty sure coming off of that experience, he did not know that they had conversations, and Cassie initiated a message to Diddy in regards to him saying that Kim was his soulmate. Cassie reached out to Diddy to confront him about that statement he made because she was upset about him making such a statement. It hurt her feelings. If you with a whole nother man and y'all married and y'all got these kids, why are you concerned about what your ex is saying and doing or whatever? That's the past. That's neither here or there. But she was still bothered. That's why I say, y'all, she still loves this man. But she's constantly being reminded of how he don't give two shits about her. She's constantly being reminded about that. And I bet you she beats herself up because it's like, why the freak do I still think about him and still have this pull to be with him, even though he's constantly reminding me, telling me and the world that he don't give a ish about me. But I still keep taking my dumb ass over there. I still be responding to his text messages. How many of y'all have been in those relationships where you still keep opening up yourself to these shenanigans and you know that ain't favorable for you, but you can't seem to get yourself out of it? And you're like, damn it. And you pissed off at yourself because you keep doing it over and over again. And it's just like, damn, like Heather Headley has this song. I think it's called In My Mind. I love that song because she ends it. He shows up with flowers and she says, here it is. And it all begins again. I got to hear that song again tonight. I love that song. Listen to that song. Heather Headley, I think it's called In My Mind. And it's about just somebody taking you through that shit, but you still keep just letting this person back in. And you can't rationalize it because remember, this and this don't always connect. Over time with growth, but this and this don't always connect. And a lot of times, this is what we're led by. And this is what gets us in these situations. And it becomes life or death because it's this. It's not this. We're moving with this. This will save your life. This saves your life. This can end it all for you. And this is what Cassie has been moving with this and why she was down so bad. In My Mind. Y'all listen to that song, In My Mind. It is a deep song. It's my favorite song by Heather Headley. But it's so real because when you know, you know. Many of us have been in those situations where we love the wrong person. They didn't deserve our love. We done put ourselves out there. We done put our money out there, our credit. We done let them underneath the roof, our roof, brought them around our kids. Didn't caught a case. How many of y'all done caught a case? Almost did time behind some mofo that don't deserve ish. If they on fire, they don't deserve you spitting on them. But you didn't risk it all. You didn't risk it all. Cassie ain't the only one. Like, what I'm talking about is many of us have been in those situations to where it's by the grace of God that we are here and doing well, and we ain't doing some other shit because we know what we done. You and your Lord, your higher power, no freak you done for somebody. Nobody else know it. Many people don't know it, but you know, and you just so happy you didn't get time for what you knew you did for that person. Or you didn't catch nothing because what you did for that person, or that nobody came to nobody. You didn't lose your job or your livelihood because of what you did for that person, or your reputation wasn't tarnished because of what you did for that person, your affiliation. But you know. And the difference between Cassie and many of us is that the world knows her indiscretions. Many of us, people don't know. People don't know. So we got to factor that in when we look at Cassie and we have judgment. We think about what we know that you don't know. She's different because we know. The world knows her business. And a lot of times that's the only difference that really separates many of us from the next person is what somebody knows and how many somebodies know. So just keep that in mind as we listen to a lot of details and things, that she is human and she is a person that has made mistakes just like many of us have made mistakes. Hers is just it's on a stage, it's center stage. Tracy, hey, you said I think the money and the money and desperately wanting a career eventually trumped any feeling she had. Then she knew the career wasn't going to happen. She found a lover and could finally leave. Yeah, it's strength. It's strength. How many of you have ever been in a situation to where you so badly wanted out and you couldn't find a way, you couldn't see it, and you had to go deep in prayer? And you know that you only got out because you were so down bad to where you just had to look up. Because when you look to the right and the left, you see no way out, but you had to look up. You had to look up. And when I say look up, that's going within. That's a higher power because you're so weak. And you pray for strength because there's no conversation that you can have with your girls or your boys that can help you with that situation. So you have to go in and you got to look up. You drop down on your knees. How many of you ever experienced that? I know I have. Where you hurt so bad to where it's just like you just had to pray to God to give you strength to release you from that pain because it hurts. There's nobody in the physical flesh that can help you. It hurts. But you know you need a way out because you can't do it no more. And guess what? And every time when I felt that way and when I did that, I started to feel the pain, it release and subside because I started to get strength. And the sad part about it, you all, far too many times we look up and we get our strength from that higher power. We turn to him as a last resort instead of the first one. We go through it and it's just like, and then it's like later you have this thought to turn to him when you should have done that all alone. You should have done that all alone because he'll lead you out, but you got to go to him. Ask and you shall receive. And so a lot of times we wait far too late, and we got to create a habit to turn to him first, not last, first. First. And when you pray for strength, you get the strength. You'll get it. It comes. It comes, but we're not asking for it soon enough. But it comes. I promise you it comes. Just you got to ask for it. You got to ask for it. It'll come. Amanda says, every single victim, TD, is like an addiction you can't break. And when you have that, that's when you got to pray. When you got somebody, you feel like somebody got a hold on you and you know it's not right. But then you got to ask God, you got to ask for that strength, for him to remove it, for him to remove that pain, for him to give you strength. I promise you, he will do it every time. Try it and test it. He will do it every time. He will do it every time. The problem is not enough people are turning to him the way they should. They're not. They're trying to do it all on their own. They're trying to they're trying to deal with it through drugs and alcohol, through sex. Talking to the friends, talk to your mama, your daddy. No. You having a conversation with the wrong person. You having a conversation with the wrong person. You having a conversation with the wrong person. But eventually, Cassie started to have a conversation with who she needed to have a conversation with. God removed her from that situation. I'm sure there's many of times when she stopped and think about where she's at and how she has this husband and these beautiful children. She's wondering how. That's God when you can't even put you don't even know. You like how to, y'all think about it. She left him and ended up with a fitness instructor. Like really think about it. These are the times when you know there is a God. When it don't make sense, when you really look at it on paper, when it don't make sense, that's how you know it's God's hand all in it. When it doesn't make sense, that's usually how we know. Rule of thumb, when you want to know, well, how we know it's God? When it don't make sense, when we can't rationalize it. When you can't rationalize it, that's when you know. I just learned a story today. Y'all seen a story in Florida? I think it's in Florida. A little baby, the 2-year-old fell from 15 floors down. and he survived. My first thought was that was God. He caught him. That was God. The baby from an apartment building, from the balcony. The building, I think it was 20 floors. They lived on the 15th floor. The baby got on the balcony and fell down 15 flights and landed on like some bushes. And he broke one leg and had some internal damages, but they say he gonna live. No charges right now filed against the parents. My first thought when I was hearing the 2 minute, 2.5 minute news clip was that was God. That was just because when you know, you know. When you know, you know. I said, oh, that was God. And when I went through the comments, I would say 90% of the comments was the same sentiments. Because sometimes when things happen and you can't find no other explanation, that's when you know that was God. They said the angel called him. That was God. Ain't no way. When the doctors, from a scientific perspective, can't fully explain it, the best they can come up with, well, I mean, maybe because of the weight that he was, because he was only 2, so he wasn't heavy. And then what else they said? There was like a bush, but it didn't look like it had been probably like a super thick bush. But there was like a bush, but like they really couldn't explain it. But that's how it is when it's God. You can't explain it. TD says, yes, an angel called him. I seen that comment too. Somebody said an angel called him. God, like, you all, I remember when I first had my first son, I went to visit my grandma, and my grandma had, y'all, how many of y'all may have a really high bed? My grandma had one of them real high beds. So y'all know these beds to wear. So I'm standing this tall. So then the bed is probably damn up here. Some of those beds where you need a step stool to get on them. My grandma had a bed like that. So I was in her bedroom, and I was a new mom, and my baby at the time was maybe like a year, and he had a big afro. My son had like a big, thick afro. I used to wear my hair in a big, thick afro before I locked it. Like listen, I didn't went through, I'm official black girl. I didn't have all the black girl looks. So I used to have the big Angela Davis afro or whatever. So my son had like a big afro. He was maybe like maybe a year old. I don't even know if he was a year old at this time, y'all. But I went to visit. So I had him on the bed, and I'm in my grandma's bathroom, and the door was open. So I'm sitting on the toilet, and I see my baby, and he was going head first, you all, to fall off the bed. And all I can do is watch, but it looked like he was falling in slow motion. And I remember my thought being like, God, he caught my baby. Because all I can do, y'all, listen, I'm on the toilet. Remember, I'm a new mom. Listen, all the mishaps, listen. My husband ain't got no stories on nothing happened on his watch. It was always me with my first son. Now I'm on 3. So he definitely was the tester child. Got locked in a car on my watch and everything. Everything happened on my watch. So I watched my baby fall going down. And remember I said he had a big afro, but it like he fell like in slow motion. And I always say, God, God caught my baby, because yeah, he was crying, but it wasn't nothing serious. But like I said, I saw him, and it was like he was falling in slow motion. So he wasn't, hurt, but it just looked like it was slow motion. So it was always my thought that God caught my baby. But yes, the little baby, the 2-year-old, he's okay. He has a broken leg, some little internal injuries, but they said nothing life-threatening. He's going to be good. Yeah, so I saw that on the internet today. So you can kind of look into that story. I think it was in Florida. Yeah, so but listen, there is a God. I am a believer. I'm not a religious person, but I'm very spiritual. And that was my first thought when I saw that baby had fallen out of off the balcony from the 15th floor. Listen, we got 45 likes. Can we get 5 more to make it a cool 50 for you, girl? For a cool 50 that started out as a walk and talk, y'all. When I get to walking, I just listen. I get to vibe in. Walking is my thing. That's my favorite exercise. So I like to walk, and talk about whatever that's going on or whatever, in the world. I like to talk, if you can't tell. I always got some things to say, but I promise you I don't be talking out the side of my neck. I be knowing a little something. I be knowing a little something. So I come out here and share what those things are, and I just be wanting to get into some things and to hear what you all have to say. There's so many moving parts when it comes to this Diddy situation. And I see that Cassie, there's responsibility on her end, but there's damn sure responsibility on Diddy's end. And he is on trial right now. And I definitely feel like the verdict should be guilty, guilty, and we're just in the early stages. So Cassie got it going. She got it started. It was on and popping, and that was by design for her to set the stage, to set the tone, so everyone else to follow is basically going to fill in the holes and the gaps of like what she was saying to kind of further back what she was saying. So as Cassie saying, listen, Diddy was beating on me, whatever. Guess what? Don Richard came on in, and guess what she said? Diddy was beating on this woman. She saw it. So she's basically validating what Cassie said. And guess what? There are more people who are going to be coming to the stands and who are going to tell their own story about their own experiences. And I'm sure I'm expecting more people to be sharing their their opinion or their experience of maybe witnessing abuse onto Cassie at the hands of Diddy as well. So there's a lot that's coming. There is a lot that's coming. So I plan to continue to follow this and to come back out here because y'all, I didn't know what I was gonna be really doing on this channel. So y'all be like, I ain't got no notification. God damn it, I ain't been doing nothing for y'all to get a notification. So now that I'm trying to get back out here, y'all, that's why I need for y'all to hit the like button because it helps with the algorithm so I can kind of get back circulating because I can come back out here and, just report on, what they're saying. Man, it says all I think of is his afro bouncing him back up onto the poofy little dive. Listen, the afro, the dive, listen, what they say, the Lord protects babies and fools. I grew up always hearing my mama say that same. And I'm saying, how many of y'all heard that before? The Lord protects babies and fools. The Lord protects babies and fools. So I said, my baby, he fell in slow motion. And then we had this baby falling from the 15th floor. He lived. He got a broken leg. That's going to heal. He'll be back running around. So hopefully the parents, hopefully they not responsible enough to handle living on the 15th floor. So wherever they go, they need to be on somebody's first floor with no stairs. They just need to be on a ranch. They need a ranch situation. They need a ranch situation. AJ said, I just pray that justice is given for all the victims that are talking as well as the ones not talking. That is my prayer too. Courtney Ann says, I just said that this morning. Yes, so that's on that, y'all. It's a lot going on. But I thank y'all for tapping in with me. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm Chic. And my background is clinical mental health counseling. So I just talk about just viral things that's just going on in the world, react to different things. And I insert messaging centered around mental health because pretty much as you're living, everything that you experience is going to have some type of impact on your mental health. It's going to have some type of impact on your mental health. So I like to point that out because just everything that we're seeing with this trial, there's an impact. There's mental health is all throughout it, whether it be on Cassie's end or even Diddy's end. There's struggles with mental health here. It's no excuse, but it is a thing. It's the context. It's about the context. T said, thanks, appreciate this live. Thank you. I hope you all subscribe so you'll be back. Make sure you have your notification bell on so you do know when I go live. So hopefully the next time I go live, the notifications and things like that will start to go out as I kind of still get back into circulating into the algorithm. Because it's a process. And if you do want to show me love, thank you, Dr. J, my awesome mod did drop my Cash App, $speak50. If you want to send a super chat, that's fine too. Become a member of my channel. Do all those things. You'll come up in color and you'll have priority to messaging and all of that. So any type of support over here is good. I appreciate you all. I always have a good time over here when I go live. It's just been so long since I've really been active over here. AJ Crew says, it's my first time to your channel. I enjoyed the visit. Subscribe. Thank you so much, AJ. I enjoyed you being here. But I like to always leave my life by saying, go out into the world and show up in a way in which you want others to show up for you, meaning like attracts like. Give off good energy. Give off good energy. Take care of yourselves and one another. Heavy on the taking care of yourself. So many times we are focused on taking care of everybody and neglecting ourselves. Ain't nobody out here giving a damn, trying to take care of us. But we trying to be here for everybody. Everybody. So I challenge you. The assignment for today is to get into yourself. Do something nice for yourself, whatever that may be, whatever that makes you feel good, warm and fuzzy inside. Do that. Take care of yourself. Do something healthy. Because you have to take care of home first, and this is home. Because if you don't take care of home first, then those who rely on you, they're not going to benefit. Because guess what? They're not going to get the best of you. So you got to make sure you take care of you. Like, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned for upcoming content in probably the coming days. Dr. J says, thanks for tuning in with She Speaks. Thank you. Thank you. If you're interested in any commentary centered around politics, things like that, you can follow me on my now larger channel. It was my smaller channel. It's my larger channel now. She Speaks on it. So this channel is She Speaks. This is my OG channel. And then I have a second channel just centered around politics that's called She Speaks. And then just add the two words on it. And you'll see me come up. Like I said, it's all things politics. It get crazy over there. It's a different kind of vibe over there. It's a different kind of vibe over there. So I will warn you, but you still get that raw truth that I provide. It's still the same. It is still the same. So hopefully I will see some of you over there on my second channel. But yes, I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your Saturday night. Listen, Dr. J said, can we get 4 more likes before she end this live? Yeah, we'll stick around. Can we listen? 46. We got 46 people and 46 likes. Can we get 4 more likes before we end this live? It just, you all helps us in the algorithm. I'm trying to get back circulating in the algorithm because I haven't been on this channel consistently doing commentary. I've been on my other channel. So the likes definitely helps with having it circulate. So therefore, people can get back into watching me when I go live. So if you can do me a solid, hit the like. I just want 4 more just to make it a cool 50, Dr. J, my awesome mod. Dr. J, please share your channel in the chat. Dr. J has content centered around just education and just all these moving parts and things that's going on in the world and the effects of how it's the effects on the education system. So if you're somebody, you got children, or you're just a student yourself, me, I have 2 college-age children, a son who's halfway, just finished up his 2nd year in college. So I'm very, very vested in just the education and just all that's going on in the world and with the politics and its impact on education, because I got babies. And I know many of you have children as well. So I would imagine, and I hope, you are vested in wanting to know like what's going on with the Department of Education and how it and its impact to you and yours. So I talk about those things on my second channel. She Speaks on it. And Dr. J specifically just really focuses on education. So if you want to support, please follow both of us on our channels on all platforms. So Dr. J on her channel, she's growing, nearing 200 subscribers. She just started this channel, I think April 6th on my mama's birthday. So, and she's already over 100 subscribers, can go live, everything. So it's growing. I like to say when you do the work, you put in the work, the rest kind of works out itself. So just put your head down and go to work. Everything else will come later. So just don't ever be afraid to work hard, because that's just life. You work hard. And sometimes what they say, when it comes too easy, then you got to be kind of concerned. So you got to be willing to put that work in. Karen, thank you so much. Karen said she was, Miss Dr. J, you said 154 subscribers. I know you lying. Listen, I'm like, Dr. J, I know you lying. Every time I go live, it's like she tells me how much more subscribers she has on that channel. And I just think it's so, so awesome. She so deserves it. She mods on multiple channels. And so she be working, and she know I'm real random with my lives. So I love my moderators because, listen, they be following me. They know I ain't got no kind of I got semi-schedule on my other channel, but this one, like, I hadn't been out here in a while. So I don't know how I'm going to be going live, how I'm going to do it, like what my little situation going to be, because I got to kind of get back in the groove of things over here on this channel. That's why I say just make sure you have the notification bell on so you know when I do go live. But in the event, if you do miss my live, do not be afraid to be a part of the replay gang. I love reading comments. I will respond to comments. So make sure you leave me a comment. So on that note, I hope you all beautiful people have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Take care of yourselves and one another. And I will catch you all on the next broadcast. Peace.